for it. There we go. Now we're official. The clap has become a thing. All right, guys. So we're excited about this episode. This is going to be super fun. We're going away from, well, I guess this is a blend of like, because you have military experience. Yeah. You do not, but you have hood experience. This is going to be this is going to be an interesting show, man. So for you guys, this would also probably be a pretty good one to watch on YouTube rather than audio, because like you get to see the tattoos, you get to see more character. It's like it's going to be more involved. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah, fuck, dude. Now I'm actually going to flex.
I know. I don't want to.
I got to freeze. Got to get it going.
All right. So today we've got Joey Hamilton and Big Ceeze Castaneda, both tattoo artists that were on seasons 3 and 6 of Ink Masters, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so world-class tattoo artists who are now, we caught them on the way down from, Ceeze from Lake Elsinore and Joey's from Vegas, and so they're down for a tattoo convention in San Diego this weekend. So Tim Spear from Vet Inc. coordinated it, and he's like, hey, can you guys stop by? So we're thankful you guys made the time to stop, especially after a big-ass drive, come in and have some conversations.
No problem. It's actually kind of easy. Like, today's usually a set-up day anyway, so we didn't have nothing to do. So I was like, yes.
Oh, good. I was wondering.
I can sit up in the morning. So
yeah, if you guys had to do all the socializing and then come in here and socialize again, it would have been fucking nightmare.
Oh, events are draining, dude.
Yeah.
Social batteries just like flickering at the end of those things for sure.
I know. SHOT Show was a lot, too. Like, it was...
Oh, it always is, man.
There.
Oh, were you there too?
Yeah, just for the last day. We did the Vet Inc. stuff for 2 days, and then I went over and walked around. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's always a shit show. He's goes there for. I mean, that's his job a lot of times, just coordinating with the companies. I fly in and I fly in the morning. I fly out in the evening. And it was perfect, man. Just caught up with him at the bar. Got pretty fucking hammered, and like just when I'm thinking maybe I've had too much, like time for the Uber right to the airport.
Just enough to get on the plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Easy to fly back.
It was good timing.
So yeah, I met Joey. I don't know, what are you looking at? Probably like 4 or 5 months ago. So when I started with Vet Inc., doing this documentary project on 3 veterans getting tattoos kind of per episode, I was working in pre-production, and we're working with a couple studios here, and then we ended up flying out to Vegas, and Big John Wechter, who was also on the podcast, ended up getting his hand blasted by Joey, and just had such a good experience, and not to mention Joey's talent, and so just kind of steamrolled because we kind of had a bad experience here with trying to navigate which artists we were going to get, because I'm working on 2 different interviews, right? So I need both to kind of communicate. I need the good kind of camaraderie between the veteran and the tattoo artist. And so we definitely found that with Joey. So, I'm actually upset since I'm behind the camera every time and everybody else is just getting blasted with world-renowned ink, and I'm just fucking sweating my ass off holding the camera with my back aching. But yeah, so that's how we've hung out. And
did you just get the Cadillac one?
Yeah, I did.
Did Joey do that one?
It's right here. No, I wish. Joey's going to be doing a lot bigger piece on me because I really kind of want to showcase the talents.
So but that one, his butt, right? Is that...
yeah, this one was a house call. My mom was in town. My mom wanted to get a tattoo, and so I called Ryan Rosas in, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And so Ryan did house call and got us knocked out.
Yeah, he's a wild man.
Yeah, he kind of man of many trades.
House calls are always crazy because you just you don't know what you're walking into, and you have to set up all your shit anyway. It's like a
Luckily, I'm so fucking anal and like OCD about how clean my house is, and it's pretty big, so it's nice to kind of like push them up. And it was Super Bowl Sunday, so I got to literally just watch the Super Bowl and just get tattooed. So it's honestly, it's a perfect scenario, as opposed to like going into a studio and stuff like that. So
yeah, I got my first tattoo in a buddy's garage. It's not so professional.
When I first started tattooing, I was in San Vito in Italy, and the guy that trained me was going to go with me, and we had stayed up the night before tattooing me, and then he missed the fucking plane, but I had all my stuff with me, and I'd only done 1 tattoo before that, so I literally I was tattooing guys in the barracks like right then. So nice. it was I would get drunk as fuck and then literally tattoo. Like it was a good 30 days, I'll say.
That's a good place to start, though, because you're a 10-year Air Force veteran.
Yeah.
Which also, I found that I was listening to another podcast you were on. You were on the Air Force volleyball team?
Yes.
No
I
way,
was.
Dude.
I tried out for the Air Force volleyball team. I tried out for it. I walked on, and I had 2 guys I played with in Florida all the time. Actually, Joe Gross, which is he's a squadron commander. He was a commander for the 23rd, so he was my doubles partner, but he played on the same team. But I tried out, and most guys are 6'3" to 6'6", and I'm like barely pushing 6 foot. So I made it past the first 2 cuts. So I was happy with myself. There was only 2 guys that made it as far as I did. So
that's good.
But yeah, I mean, I played volleyball as an adult. That's the only time I ever played. So
yeah, I didn't know the Air Force had a volleyball team. I think
all of them do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Army, Navy.
I'm just now finding this out. Team 5 would have been great. I was always jealous of Team 5 because I was at Team 1, and we were there at like 6:45, ready to go, and Team 5 would roll in at 8 o'clock, play some volleyball, hang out, work out. 9:30 quarters. They had volleyball court, and they were known for like the volleyball team.
Yeah,
I was very jealous.
I learned in the desert. That's when I learned, because they had the net between 2. The connexes for like just the bunks and stuff, so it was pretty cool. Yeah, so you didn't want to go out of bounds and hit the ball, but it was it was cool. It was fun playing. So.
We used to play cutter all the time with the Air Force guys.
Yeah,
the refuelers out there. It was fun.
Last but not least.
Yeah. So you did 10 years in the Air Force, and then Big C's. Like, how'd you grow up?
So I'm born and raised in East Los Angeles. So it was actually kind of a rough time of my life, actually. I mean, it was pretty bad to the point where, like, I don't even remember a lot of it, And I've been told that I don't remember a lot of it because I choose not to remember it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I grew up in a dysfunctional household, where I was raised by a stepdad who abused and tortured us, and led me to like run away from home when I was 13, got into drugs when I was 15, OD'd on coke when I was 17.
Dang.
And then just, living that hood life, man, but I've always loved drawing, and then I got my first tattoo with a homemade machine, which I still have it actually. It says Mom right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
I was 17 years old. I'm 53 right now. And I was 17 years old, and I got Mom right there. That was my first tattoo.
They were going hard then.
Yeah.
Was that a professional, or was it like the tape deck with the pen?
No, it was a homemade machine. Yeah. So once I got that, I was like, oh, shit, I want to do this. I want to put some artwork on people. And then I just went home and I started making all kinds of homemade machines. So I would like literally carry around a shoebox that would have like, 6 homemade machines. And we even had like battery packs, like D batteries that we would just like put together and duct tape them. And then that was our power source.
Yeah.
And then we would just tattoo like that. I jacked up all kinds of people, but
you got to learn somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, even when I got my professional machines, so what ended up happening, how I got the professional machines was I had a cousin who was walking home one night in East LA and got shot 4 times and became paralyzed. So when, at this time, I mean, I'm 18, 19, but I already have my own apartment, and I ended up taking him in and taking care of him for a while. So he ended up getting like a Social Security check or something like that, and I drove a 1970 Impala back then. So he asked me if I wanted a system in my Impala or if I wanted professional tattoo machines.
Tough choice.
I'm like, I'll take the machines, man. I'll make the money for the system,
Yeah, one of them pays you.
Yeah, exactly. So sure enough, man, he bought me my first Paul Rogers freaking kit. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude.
Is that professional, really?
Not anymore.
It's like a Sears catalog, robot catalog.
But back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going from a tape deck, motor to a machine.
I remember those old machines. You used to be able to hear them going, or like you knew there was a tattoo shop like a block away.
Oh, yeah.
Just because that loud like hum, just nah.
I got guys in my shop right now that switched back to those recently, and it's just like they're one on each side of me. So it is. You come up the escalator in the mall there, and you just hear just blah.
Why they switch back? Is it like just
I don't know.
Are they hipsters?
It's
kind of like using a
anybody
typewriter.
that does traditional is probably 99% using that kind of machine.
Really?
So if they're
Okay.
doing traditional tattoos, then they tend to think that that's the better machine. So
Interesting.
it's hard to.
It was the sound. It was the sound that you wanted to hear in a tattoo shop. You know
Well,
what I
yeah,
mean?
used to it.
You wanted to hear that sound, you know.
Yeah.
But now it's been gone for me. It's been gone for a while now. That when I was at his shop, I was like, "Damn, what's all that damn noise over there?"
That's the sound of money being made.
It's here, and then I got one guy that sits on this side is actually a lead singer for a death metal band. So any song that fucking comes on, he's like fucking tapping his, like just power tapping his feet for the fucking music, and I'm like going, Jesus Christ,
Oh my God.
sensory overload trying to
Yeah,
tattoo.
good shit. It's like keep your hands steady, I guess.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's wild.
Yeah, I
man.
felt like that was just too annoying because, you're 4 hours deep into a tattoo and you're just sweaty and anxious and that sound doesn't go away.
Yeah.
And then you stop talking and then all it is that sound just like permeates your brain. You're like, all right, I'm fucking over this.
I always found it very meditative. You just kind of like, of
course you did.
It's nice.
Well, I was worried when we were doing the documentary because I'm like, how the
the
fuck
audio.
how am I going to do this? Because they're mic'd up and they're leaning in and the gun's right there. And I'm like, this is going to be hard. But then he's like, turn it. It's like, and I'm like, oh no, we're good. I'm thinking I was going to have to hire like a sound guy for this in order to like help me navigate
I
that
forgot what
process.
clip it was, but somebody actually recently put the sound in
Added
one
it?
of the one of the videos, and like I think it was Nunley, Justin Nunley put it in his because he wanted. We were doing a little fake thing where he was acting like he was tattooing.
Yeah.
So he wanted to make it sound like he was tattooing his buddy, so he put in the noise. And I'm like,
It's like BMW piping in the exhaust sound in their cars.
Yeah, right.
Come on. Yeah, I remember we had my first clothing line I built was called Forge Clothing back in like 2007. And my roommate at the time was like really cool. He was a fireman. He looked like a gangster, like fully blasted neck. Like, I mean, his knuckles and toenails were blasted, but he was like a fireman, like a fire captain. He was like a very responsible guy, when he wasn't like doing a bunch of coke and illegal shit.
on his days off.
yeah, right. So, and we had this other chick, so we set up a photo shoot at a tattoo shop, I think Funhouse Tattoos downtown. And we had this really hot chick that had all these tattoos on. So we set her up on the tattoo bed, like doing, some sexy pose.
Typical,
And he's, of course, because he's a very outgoing, interesting guy, but around a hot chick, he starts to get like sweaty palms. So we had him pretending to do the tattoo on her. He's not a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
So we had him pretending to do it. But he's got such great like hand tattoos. We were like, nah, just don't wear the gloves. We got so much shit for that ad because it was a dope ad. It looked fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
But people were like, you wouldn't tattoo with no gloves. I'm like, he's not really tattooing it, bro.
Right.
It's fake.
Yeah. Dude, some people get, some artists get like anal, dude, about the whole thing. We can't even do like a video just like showing a tattoo machine, like, hey, this is the new machine that came out or whatever, Why isn't he wearing gloves when he's touching that machine?
Oh my
Because I'm not
God.
using it, fool,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your guys'
People-
culture seems like the military, like kind of like photo shoot culture, where it's like SEALs don't wear that plate carrier, and like
Right.
Delta doesn't use that gun.
I just wear what they gave me, bro.
It's the
I
wrong
don't know
butt
any of that
stock.
shit.
Yeah, right. You just get eaten up in the comments.
Yeah.
Dude, all the gun stuff. Like, what did you carry? Like, I don't know what it's called. Just, I carried the gun they gave me. I shot it. like Colt Trickle, bro. I'm not the fucking. I just drive the thing. I don't know how to fucking. I don't know how to change the tires. I don't know any of that shit. Yeah. So we're trying to run both stories at the same time here. I guess we'll go back. So what made you go into the military and the Air Force in particular?
Small town Oklahoma, like 12,000 people. My brother he's a year older than me. He was already in the military, getting married, driving a BMW. And I'm like, hell, that sounds pretty cool. I actually had a scholarship to go to art school, but I was like, I didn't really want to do that. And then I just decided, like, I'm just going to go in. And I went in and literally went to Okinawa right off the bat. So I got stationed at Kadena for 2 years, back shop for 15s for the weapons. And, young kid in Oklahoma going there, no guidance, no nothing. You can drink right away. Like, it definitely was a crazy couple of years, you know. And that's the only thing I say about the military. There's no father figure guidance at that point. They throw you out there after you go through your training, whatever. And then that's it. You're just like out there in the world with nobody saying, dude, that was fucking dumb.
I think the expectation is you find what they say in the Navy is a sea daddy, which is surprisingly not as gay as it really sounds.
It sounds kind of...
It's not super gay, bro.
Navy,
it's my sea
okay.
daddy. Yeah. Well, also that term came about before like daddy was a thing, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't realize how gay that was until I just said it.
You do gravitate towards the married guys. That overseas is way better than stateside. You know, there's always the camaraderie is way better. There's actually get-togethers almost every weekend. So you do have some, but
I think if you find a good like mentor type personality or somebody who's kind of living life or doing something the way that you want to do it, the military, you can usually find somebody who's doing, oftentimes it's not even the same person that's doing it. Like this person's really good at that, so you learn from this. This person's really good at this, so you learn from that. And you kind of like, at least that's the way I've been. I've seen a lot of people who are really influential in my life for different things, but it's rare that I find somebody who's like, that guy's doing absolutely everything the way I want to do it. It's kind of like the Jeet Kune Do of mentors, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
just pull what you can.
I think Joey and I were talking about that too, is when you are that young and you get stationed overseas, because you don't speak the foreign language, right? So I was in Germany and you were in Japan, you do gravitate to like your circle, your platoon, like your squad a lot more, and you're doing the barbecues and you're playing cornhole or like doing all those things. And you also kind of help police each other up. However, you're also all dumb as fuck at the same age.
Yeah.
So
You're
all
all
doing dumb as fuck things.
18 going out every night till 2, 3 in the morning. Yeah.
But that's also back when you could come back to the barracks at 05 in the morning and do PT at 6:30. Well, in the Air Force, I'm sure it was probably like 11.
We slept in, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, volleyball practice.
PT?
Today.
What are you talking about? No.
So what was your job? Your MLS?
Weapons, yeah.
Okay.
It was 462 back then. They changed it now. It's something else. But so I did weapons on the 15s first. So it was just really low, like maintenance on the rails. And then when I went to Herbert Field, it was 53s and 60s. So I worked on the gun systems for that. So it was really cool. When I first got there, I re-upped because of Desert Storm. And then a lot of the people that was in the back shop for weapons actually transferred over and were gunners. So I was going to do that too. I actually started my paperwork, but then so many people had transferred over, they said nobody else can go right now because it created a manning situation.
What year did you go in?
87. I graduated high school in 86.
You went in
87?
at 87?
Yeah.
How old are you?
That was the year
I'm
I was
fucking
born.
old, man.
That was the year I was born.
I'm 48. I thought you were my age, bro.
No, I'm 57, I think.
Well, you're fucking doing
cool.
well, man.
Yeah,
I gotta
man.
give you that.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Played the fucking volleyball in the sun.
Yeah, the Air Force doesn't age you very hard. You're just like, that washer needs some Loctite.
No, but so I did the back shop, and I did the 10 years. And I liked it a lot. Like, it was cool. Definitely, the 130 back shop was cool because that was the 105 howitzer just blasting off the back of the 130. But I still have a lot of friends. It's funny, so AFES reached out to me, and we're going to open a couple tattoo shops on military bases. We just opened one on Fort Benning, and we're opening one at Eglin Air Force Base. So right there where I was stationed at.
Full circle.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
A lot of the guys that my first tattoo shop was in that area. So a lot of those guys are still there. So I got to go back and see them and stuff. So it's pretty neat.
That's cool. So you guys both have similar upbringings, like different paths, but similar upbringings. I was going to ask you, it seems like art was like kind of embedded or ingrained in you guys from the beginning. Was that like part of your family growing up, or what was it that drew you to art? And then like through that process, I guess we'll start there. Like, what was it that drew you to art in the first place?
Well, I think like in the hood, like everybody draws, like it's funny too, because now that I'm saying this, I got locked up one time, right? Just went on a little vacation, but I got locked up, and it was like in Rancho Cucamonga, and I spent a couple of months there, and I pulled out an envelope and I started drawing. It was a dorm of like 175 inmates. And they seen me drawing on the envelope, and right away they were like, hey, this guy knows how to draw, you know what I mean? And then I became like the godfather in there, where like I was getting like candy and soup and all of that stuff, so that I just drew on everybody's envelope for their girlfriends.
Oh,
or
that's
whatnot,
cool.
You know
No
what I
way.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I end up getting picked up and getting transferred to LA County. And then when I got to LA County, so when I was in Rancho Cucamonga, there was a bunkie that was by me, and I asked him for an envelope and a pencil, and he gave me one, and that's how it started, right? He even taught me how to like do colored pencil with M&Ms, which is interesting. But so I get transferred to LA County, right? And now this place is totally different, right? And I asked the bunkie next to me for an envelope and a pencil, and I start drawing. But then I look around the whole cell, and everybody's drawing. So that in LA, that's just what we did. We just drew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, so that's how it started, and then like I said, and then I got my first tattoo, and I was like, I want to do this, and then I just kept on pursuing it. I ended up getting into airbrushing before tattooing, because when I was making the homemade machines, I was at a swap meet, an outdoor swap meet, and I saw this guy airbrushing, and I was like, that's sick. And he had like 200 people like around his booth, and he was the only one that I knew that was that was airbrushing at the time. This was in the 90s. So I asked him if where he got his airbrush, and he's all, you got to find that out on your own, bro. And I was just
Thanks,
like, all right, man. Yeah, cool. So I did. I found one. And then I came back to him and I said, hey, I found an airbrush. How do I use it? And he goes, you got to figure that out on your own, man.
Really useful guy.
Yeah. He didn't want to he didn't want to tell anybody
He's
anything.
keeping the shit out of it.
Yeah, because he was making tons of money. You know what I mean?
I get it.
So,
Yeah.
And I got it too, man. So I was like, all right. So I ended up just teaching myself how to airbrush. And then I just started airbrushing. So I've been airbrushing for like 35 years now.
Did you ever take that to vehicles and hot rods and all that stuff?
I never did, because back then, clothing was where it was at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people were getting like their Levi's, airbrush, like graffiti on their,
Yeah, I
on their
remember that.
legs.
I grew up in Northern California. I remember those days.
Yeah. And it's actually still in Northern California. Like,
Yeah, I never left.
even Florida. Florida is like huge with airbrushing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Ours is like tourists, though.
yeah,
I
but
came
like
to Destin.
yeah, my daughter did a cheer competition in Daytona.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Daytona Beach.
Oh yeah,
Same
dude.
thing.
And there's airbrush stores, and I walked in there and I was just like, dang, this is old school stuff. You know what I mean? Like all
making
the
a comeback.
designs that they were making and stuff. I'm like, dude, we did that in the 90s, dude.
Yeah.
But that's ended up how that's how I ended up like just pursuing it, and then tattooing out of my garage, having a full-time job, but tattooing and airbrushing out of my garage. And then I met my mentor, and who had a shop down the street from where I lived, and I asked him questions, and then he just guided me and told me how to do things. And
So the opposite of the other guy.
yeah, exactly. But that's the industry, though. Like they don't want to help the scratcher, 'cause
Yeah, I have so many questions on that about like mentorship and everything too. But so your journey with art, like how did
With
that come
art,
about?
my family has a background in it. Like definitely a lot of artists in my family. I have another tattoo artist cousin, a florist. On my mom, everybody's kind of from my mom's side is heavily art based. And once I went in the military, I didn't really do too much art. I did do some squadron T-shirts, some stuff like that. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I never knew about year 9. I didn't know what I was going to do when I got out, but I knew I was getting out. I actually had some PJ friends that were doing higher tenure, so I was just like, about year 6, I'm like, that sounds pretty cool. Get like 30,000 when you get out. Don't really just kind of know you're going to just get out. But yeah, I at that year 8, 9, I was dating this girl, and she goes, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I don't know. And she goes, well, talk to this guy named Rodney. He was an ammo guy who was actually had been tattooing 6 months. at a shop downtown, and I was like, okay, that sounds kind of cool. Let me go talk to these guys. So these are going to be paint motorcycles because my dad was friends with some famous bike builders, and Biker Build Off was going off crazy. And I talked to that guy, and he goes, yeah, come back here. We're going to blow it up. You could design the bikes. And then I started tattooing first, so that's when I was like, all right, I'm just going to stick with tattooing.
So you've been tattooing in the military first
For a year,
okay.
yeah. For about a year, I was in there, and I for 3 months I trained, which was really I tattooed one orange, and then I went on my deployment and I tattooed a bunch of people, and then I got a job at a small little hole in the wall shop. So I was working overnights in the Air Force, whatever Graves it was, and then I was tattooing during the day. So
in Okinawa?
No, this is for Herbert Field.
Okay.
So, yeah. So after I got back from there, but I, the military side of it was the first 50 people I tattooed was probably military kids. I did a couple free ones, and then that was it. I would start to charge, but I was really good friends with a lot of pararescue combat controllers, and that's where the green feet thing came
feet
around.
on the ass tattoos.
Tons.
He's about to do a lot more.
Yeah,
That's great.
tons of those. So, and that's a funny story in itself. But they tend. So I tattooed the second guy ever on the beach in Nam. He came in the shop, and they said, "This is the guy's a special guy. We want you to do his feet for him." But it's typical military, especially the jock style motherfuckers, with the little shorts, and they walk in with their running shorts, and instead of going, "Here's my ass," they drop their pants to their ankles. And I'm like, dude, you don't got this old dude just walking in going, "Hey, here you go."
Like a 4-year-old at a urinal.
Pull them off the block away.
And I'm like, dude, you don't have to fucking. I can pull your shorts to the side, But I had designed some cool stuff. I actually am the one that put the skulls inside of the feet. If you've ever seen that logo,
No, that's cool.
So that's me. Like that was, and it was funny because the commander at the time was like, Joey, you should, copyright that logo because it's going to be big. And I was like, nah, it's okay. It's not. I'm doing it for you guys. You know what I mean? And then I did that.
cool.
And then who's the other ones with the red beret? That think they're controllers, but you may not know it's an Air Force ship.
JTACs or
Yes, because they went to school at Herbert also, so they were like, design us one too.
So the JTACs are different than CCTs, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
As far as I know, there was that tier level stuff. So
Yeah, I don't know much about the Air Force. We had a couple PJs and a couple CCT guys attached to us overseas one time, and they were fucking phenomenal guys, man. Like those guys are like, talk about people who are like fucking world class of what they do. Yeah. Like, holy shit, they were really good.
So that kind of almost caveats into this little conversation that Joey and I have been having in the past couple of days. Is a really good friend of mine, used to work at ERT. He was a CB for a while, and then tried to got out, got divorced, of course, like all of us, everyone needs to start a marriage. But then he was trying to get into NSW pipeline in order to go be a SEAL, and they just wouldn't give him the date, even though they had all of his information. I mean, physical stud. He's a shorty, but I think the women call him short kings now.
Smurf crew.
Yeah.
That's the Navy term.
But he ended up getting accepted by the Air Force, and so he's actually getting ready to graduate in May from the PJ pipeline.
Probably a much smarter move. Yeah.
And they're much smarter. I mean, because I'm just blown away by the level of difficulty in their pipeline, right? So you're going through CQC school, combatives. You're also pretty much a PA by the time you graduate, if not being a PA. Yeah. And so he hit me up, and I'm going out there for his graduation because he asked me to put his beret on him and kind of pin him at their ceremony. And he said that they were having a hard time trying to find a tattoo artist to tattoo all of their green feet on his graduating class. And I'm like, I fucking know a guy. Yeah. And so I called Joey like literally 2 days ago. We found out the number, and so now we're trying to work this out, but trying to kind of collectively go out there and then have all these guys hopefully just, I would say, wedge him as opposed to do the 4-year-old urinal pant drop.
Speedos, tell them all we're Speedos.
Yeah, porky pig in it.
So, I have a thong. Ready,
oh my God, that'd be awesome.
Actually, that would be awesome.
Yeah, they all gotta wear thongs.
Yeah, wear all your jock straps.
Yeah, nice. Just go to a strip club. Trade a girl.
But there might be quite a few more green feet in Joey's future here come May.
I haven't done one of those in a long, long time, but yeah, I was like, I'll definitely. It's always fun to do them.
Yeah, we've had two PJs on the show. Xander Gleaton, SDSC is his brand. He's got a clothing brand.
Saints by
impressive.
Day, Sinners by Construct.
Yeah, super impressive guy. That guy's like a fucking like weapon,
Lunatic.
bro.
He's a
lunatic.
weapon.
He's like I'm 6'1", 230. He's like 6'2", 6'3", like 250, but like athletic and smart as fuck. I'm like, this guy's dangerous, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other guy was he was RJ Casey. Yeah, he was a former Green Beret and then moved over to Air Force and became one of the first. Was it one of the first PJs? Not one of the first PJs, but I think one of the first guys to transfer from that.
Yeah, one of the first guys to essentially go from the Army, which is wild, over to the PJ pipeline, graduate the PJ pipeline.
Another super cerebral guy too, like just really.
And then he went, kind of OGA, we'll just call it that. But now he's also doing all the recovery operations for all the SpaceX flights and any of the astronauts that land in the ocean.
Yeah, so he's got a wild life. Like I don't normally recommend like, man, really write a book. I want to read about your life. I'm like, dude, RJ's life. I'm like, bro, that'd be a dope fucking book, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. They have a very technical, like, I mean, hard means different things, but I think from a technical proficiency and like standard standpoint,
it's like a fully well-rounded machine.
Yeah,
I think
they probably have them and EOD. I would imagine probably have the two most technically regimented, difficult schools in the military.
Yeah, I did a lot of EOD crabs too, because that school is right there at Eglin also.
So the crabs are their tattoo namesake.
Yeah,
not the crab. That's what they call the like ours is the trident.
Yeah,
that's what they call their emblem.
Okay.
They call it the crab because it kind of looks like an upright crab.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like Ronnie Coleman flexing.
Of course it is.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you guys, because you brought up a great point about even immediately getting into this new territory and the stark difference in kind of mentorship where somebody's like, fuck you, kid, like figure it out on your own. And the other guy you met was like, hey, I help you, and then you have to navigate that as well. That's the thing I was going to ask you guys too, is like a separate journeys, but similar paths here, is how do you navigate that space on your own? Is like when somebody comes to you, which of those ways do you go with it and why?
Okay, so I'll start off. I actually started a school in the state of Nevada. I don't like talking about it too much because back when I started it 12 years ago, it was very
frowned upon.
It's still frowned upon.
Really?
Yeah. But I bring military background. I'm like, if I bring in 10 people and teach this one person, he's going to be way more well-rounded. I had a college professor teaching tattoo history at a college graduate art major teaching art. There was 550 hours of tattooing on fake shit before you tattooed anybody. Like
550?
Yeah, it was 400. Well, it was 400 fake skin where you had to draw stuff out of the hat. Compose it, tattoo it, and you would get critiqued. And then it was 150 hours of tattooing on people, so it's 400 hours on non. But I only put 5 people through. I only graduated 3, but the mentality is bad. Like you literally, it was. Especially out here in California, they were boycotting. All these artists would go boycott the schools because there's schools that like we'll teach you in 2 weeks.
What was their reasoning thing?
Well,
just because of that, the wrong
right?
thing?
Exactly. They want to make it one mentor towards one apprentice, but
kind of like the Miyagi thing,
right?
A little bit.
And I see that it's that mentality, but nobody's trained. There's no qualifications on the mentor at all.
Yeah.
So it literally could be this shittiest one in the whole area teaching 20 people, but I liked what I was doing, but I do see both sides of the coin where they're like going, okay, there's no respect for the industry, so you have to have respect for industry to get into it. Typically, like it used to be like you had to go through 1 year, 2 years of hazing, like all this stuff, but mine was paid for, the school was paid for. I actually put 2 vets through, but talking with the kids about it, and then they would back talk you, and you just have to be like, shut the fuck up. I'm here to teach you. We're not gonna be friends. We're not gonna be this. Like just, they just kept talking back, and I could see that part of it now. Like,
interesting.
of
There's
going
no
through it.
respect to
Yeah,
that.
there's no respect for it. There, and it's that kid's actually really well-rounded, great artist now. But I had some really bad issues with him. But but overall, like if somebody, I've only trained probably, I would say in my 30 years of tattooing, I've probably trained 20 people, and a handful of those never made it. Like at least 20% never made it through. I've had 2 or 3 anxiety problems, until you get to the point of actually tattooing, and then you're doing it consistently, and then they couldn't handle the pressure of it. And they literally quit within the first 3 months.
Wow.
And you're just like, you just went through a year's worth of training, and you just, once you it's the bedridden, like, I can't get out of bed.
What did you think you were going to do?
Yeah, I don't, exactly. Like it's such a weird thing to have that thing happen, because you feel like you do a good job training them, but then they get to that point and they're just like, I can't even get out of bed. I get so anxious,
It's weird.
And you guys' background, that can't happen.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I don't want to, short side quest on that. We actually did have that happen in SQT one time when I was an instructor. There was this kid. I remember him. I remember because he's such a weird looking guy. He looked like a. I told
Is
the
this
story
a gray?
Bro, he looked like a gray. He looked like an alien guy. I'm like, that's the only reason I remember, because he's so weird looking. He's a good kid. He's just very very unique looking.
Yeah.
And I remember him going through buds, and he didn't make it. He quit. I remember chatting with him, and like he's solid. So I was like, hey, give him some advice, and he came back later and made it. And I saw him later when I was teaching SQT, which is the follow-on portion after buds. About 6 months, you go to SQT for 6 months, and then you're not fucking with the guys at SQT. You're legit trying to like get them better. You're not trying to get them to quit. It's weird if they quit, Like nobody quits SQT almost, except for this guy. He quit in SQT. I'm like, bro, why did you go through all the shit that you went through, quit, go through all the shit again, and then make it through? You're in SQT. You're gonna be a SEAL, aside from fucking this up, and you quit. And his reason was, and I give him a lot of credit for this too, because he it's nice that he saw this in himself. He would have been better for him if he saw it earlier. But he's like, hey, I was doing CQC, which is shooting in the house and everything. And it's like, I realized that one day I was going to be asked to shoot a person and not a target, and I just didn't think that I could do that. And I was like, well, first off, what the fuck do you think we do here? Like, come on. And then 2, it's like, I have a lot of respect for him for recognizing that himself and raising his hand and be like, hey man, I'll take whatever comes my way with this. But he doesn't want to put other people in a situation where they're relying on him, and he knew that he couldn't perform what was needed to do. Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for him for doing that. But also I'm like, bro, you could have saved yourself so much fucking ass pain.
Right.
Just like literally thinking a little bit ahead, So yeah, it does happen. But I was very surprised about that. That's one of the only times I've ever heard of that. But I guess it's not only our little world. I guess people always have this weird little thing with the trophy doesn't like quite fit in your hand the way that you imagine it, I guess.
Yeah. But overall, like just training somebody, like I'm probably done myself. I don't know if I want to do anything else training wise. But I know Ceeze is stepping into that foyer of like, and there's enough artists out there, and that's our industry is always saying that, like, why we have to train more people, like, so that's where, he's jumping into the realm of it. And I'm just like, I don't know,
I think the biggest thing was we were afraid to saturate our industry. You know what I mean? Our industry, as big as it is, it's small, and we didn't want to saturate it. You know what I mean? And that's why it was frowned upon with the schooling and stuff like that. But then social media came, and the show Ink Master came, and now every Tom, Dick, and Harry and their mom wants to be a tattoo artist, And then COVID hit, and then everybody became an artist, and it was all about the glamour, like the money. The passion for the art, how we started was because of the art, and that's gone now, Now it's like, I know that tattoo artists make money, and I just want to make money. You know what I mean? And
Well, the money and the Instagram shit. I mean, there's plenty of kids out there with 1 million followers now that are average at best, but they know how to market themselves.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, I mean, and they're coming into the industry like there's some sick freaking kids that are coming into the industry too, and taking away a lot of work from other artists. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, back when we started, you know, it was all about trial and error. You know, we had to figure out what was the best machine, what were the best inks. You know, we had to make our own needles, and now, you know, we have to figure out which ones are the best needles now that are made. These kids are coming into the industry with the best machines, with the best ink, and with the, you know.
Yeah.
So
The learning curve's
makes
a
it-
lot shorter.
It's
Yeah.
definitely, I mean, I'm, you know, I'm a consumer of this,
Collector,
right?
we call them collectors.
Yeah. I've only got 2 tattoos. I got
Left and right.
yeah, I got this one when I was 29 and this one I think when I was 39, I think. So long time in between. But I remember the guy I had do the second tattoos, great artist, photorealistic, very like beautiful work. But that didn't exist when I, you know, was that 17 years ago when I got my first tattoo? Is a good artist, but the photorealistic shit did not exist. So I had to actually ask the second guy to not tone down his work, but yeah, tone down his work, because otherwise I had a really like photorealistic tattoo and one that you're like, what the fuck happened to your left arm? You know
So
what I mean?
that's crazy you say that, because I would say typically that happens all the time when somebody comes in and they got an arm of crap, and then they got like, look at this arm over here by this Japanese master. He hand drew on all of it.
Wow.
Whoa.
You know,
Dang.
and then
Yeah.
and you know, nothing wrong with this, but you know what I mean. Like, it is what it is.
I did all of
Styles,
this.
Yeah. No wonder.
Yeah, I
You
did
know
all
what, though? I feel like that's kind of like the timeline of your growth in your life, and it's a story to be told. Is the shitty ink all the way up to the great ink, and I've never really thought about that, of trying to make sure that it kind of matches, because mine are kind of relatively the same, but I definitely got some shitty ones. But yeah, I've never really kind of thought about it that way. And having done this documentary with Vet Inc., I'm like, okay, like there's a progression here. You know, there's this stuff that you get when you're young and dumb, or you're learning and kind of cutting your teeth in the industry. And then now you get it from a fucking master. And it's like, now I'm here. Now the other way to look at it, right? So one of the pieces that I have is, you see up here where it's unfinished. So I got this done in Afghanistan by my medic. And the reason why it's unfinished is we were wrapping it up, but then we started taking IDF and rockets, like, on the base. And I was SOG and Sergeant of the Guard, so, like, I had to go check on every battle position and all that stuff. But, like, in my mind, and if I were, like, at a beach club or whatever in Vegas looking at it, it'd be like, your fucking bitch ass couldn't afford $30 worth more of ink. And so I've always been
cooler
very
story with it
conflicted
unfinished, yeah.
about whether it's finished or whether I finish it.
Well, tattoos are a story. I think it's way cooler with the story with it unfinished.
Yeah, and I mean, I've gotten both realms of it, but I mean,
Or make it finish with a different color, maybe.
yeah, hell no, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, it says it's my body. It's my body.
but tattoos have evolved. You know, like
That's wild.
I've tattooed like older men, 60 years old or whatnot, coming in for their first tattoo, and then end up like doing a full sleeve on them. But you know, when they first come in, they're like, yeah, I've always, you know, thought about getting a tattoo. I just never pulled the trigger until now. And I'm like, well, it's a good thing you waited until now, because what we just did on you, you wouldn't have got that back then. You know what I mean?
No,
That's
definitely.
when you get brought into our industry, especially back in the 80s. I was trying to be part of the Florida Guild, like it was like a whatever group back in the day. And I remember going to one of their meetings, and like every guy in there just had the old, I mean, just nasty shit. And me and my buddy were sitting there going, man, look at all these guys' tattoos. They're just fucking horrible. But they would sit you down, and if you were going to be an apprentice, you had to have full sleeves. Like that was, there's no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I actually didn't get hired quite a bit because I only had one tattoo on my arm. And they wouldn't, like, these old guys wouldn't hire me.
It's kind of like a skinny chef.
Yeah, they were just like, yeah,
Skinny
we
brother,
don't
yeah.
trust you. But yeah, it was like just seeing these old tattoos and then knowing, like, you know, everything could look so much better than what you're seeing right there. But I have not heard that before, and I think about it now, like, I should have heard that a lot, where you're going like almost dumb it down. And I say that to my customers when they do have tattoos like that. I say, well, your one arm's going to look way better than your other arm.
Yeah.
So we can fix your other arm too. At the same point, I'm trying to upsell.
Yeah, that's an upsell.
Yeah. Well, how do you do? Because I don't know if your guys' experience is different with getting tattoos, but I've never had a tattoo come out where I'm like, oh, that's fucking perfect, bro. It always comes out, I'm like, it didn't come out exactly how I wanted it, you know?
I think that's just your personality.
It's us too, though. It's us too. We do the same thing where we might like it, like as an artist, you might like it for about 30 seconds, and then you're just like, man, I could have done something different.
Yeah, I'm always noticing the stuff. But I think that's part of the process too. It's like, hey, you made a decision, you're sticking with the decision. That's kind of how life goes. Like, you don't get redos in most situations. You're lucky if you do, but usually you don't. And like, you just kind of like stick with it, and you got to learn to fucking deal with it. And like, it is what it is. But tell me more about fixing them, because I could maybe fix mine.
Well, no, it's easy.
He's a master cover-up guy.
Yeah,
right
just
here.
I've had some crazy cover-ups. Oh my god!
But what do you do for a sleeve? Because I was thinking
for
about
covering it, or for just redoing it.
Redoing it.
Yeah, redoing it's easy. If you like 90%,
erase part of it and like redo it or something.
You can actually, like that's one of the things cool now is like the laser tattoo removal. You just get it lightened up enough to put something else over it. Like I'm tattooing Justin Nunley, MO TikTok guy. Like he's huge TikTok, but he walked into the shop and he has this huge ass tribal. And he's like, yo, bro, can you fix it? Can you go over this? And I'm just like, it's probably one of the worst ones I've ever had to try and cover up as far as what it is. But luckily, the whole other arm was almost free. So I did a really cool skull,
That's cool.
flaming skull, big old eagle, head on fire. So, but I still, like those cover-ups just take a lot longer and a lot more thought and a lot more laying out the right way.
I got my first one.
That's an inside joke.
Oh, really?
He just did a cover up the other day, and I'm like going, yeah, okay.
That's cute.
You know, I can sit right there.
As long as the client's happy, you know what I mean?
We did one of those mirror tricks. We used to do a mirror trick. Went on their back, and you're like, oh, check it out in the mirror.
Just keep on moving.
Yeah, dude, that's so true about as long as the client's happy. Because I do all the designing for our brand, and then I've had a bunch of other brands before, and I'm usually the main designer for it. And dude, there's so many times where, or even because we produce for a bunch of different other companies and brands too. So it's been hard for me to go through that process of like, well, fuck, I could just change this or I'll tweak this. I end up spending so much time on something, and then we release it, and nobody cares. Nobody sees it. Nobody knows that I spent 8 hours correcting some vector layer point that they're never going to see, but I see it. And so I got to this point where I was like, I'm wasting my fucking time. It's like, as long as a customer thinks that it's 100% and they're 100% happy with it, whether that's 80%, 90% of my happiness, that's a win, you know? Because if it waits for me to do it, it's never fucking done. And I'm never going to put it out. And we have no fucking product.
That's when people come to us to get tattooed. They would typically say, okay, here's my idea or inspiration, but I want you to put your own twist on it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going, if you brought this into me, you've already spent 20, 30 hours looking for something that you like and catches your eye. So that's what you want, typically, you know? And then they're like, oh, yeah, okay. So I tend to try and stick with what they bring in the most because, like you're saying, I've done it. I've drawn whole big old things out, especially back in the day when there's no iPads. You're just sitting there drawing on paper on layers and getting all the stuff together. And then you're like, here's this. And this poker player wanted a traditional pinup girl with a Coke bottle because he liked to drink Coke and cards and all this stuff. And then hours and hours. And he comes in and he goes, yeah, no, I want it this other way. And I'm just like thinking, motherfucker.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, literally, you guys, like the iPad has revolutionized the probably tattoo industry, right? As far as the ability to kind of, because time is money, and your guys' work takes a lot of time because it's so difficult to do. But then with an iPad, you throw a Procreate on that thing, and now the printers, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Whereas before, you're sketching everything out.
And if you add AI to the whole mix.
Yeah.
Now
you can conceptualize anything, and now you're like, you know what? And then you take AI image, vector it, throw it in Procreate. Sorry, I'm nerding out. And then just start deleting some shit, and now you can add a Coke bottle in where, it was fucked up previously.
So before we get into that, I was trying to remember this book that really helped me kind of figure out like when to ship the fucking art, basically, like. Like tell myself to shut the fuck up and actually like just get it done. It's a book called The Practice. Shipping Creative Work is the main point of it. Seth Godin, amazing book. So if anybody just listened to that and was struggling with that, like when to release the art and dealing with clients and all that shit, dude, that book was fucking amazingly powerful for me to like figure that out. Very useful.
Yeah. There's so many different.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail that.
No, it's all good.
With me, it's like, with me, 80% of my clients walk in with their idea, but leave with my idea. Because, you know, if it looks stupid, then I'm going to tell them it looks stupid. You know, like, I'm not doing that, you know. And then I'll say, well, let me create something for you, and then I'll create something for them, you know.
Which is a rose. Right.
A rose, yeah, lots of roses.
If Kevin were here, he'd say a cock with wings for sure.
Well, the cool thing is that I'm a portrait artist too, so like I do a lot of memorial pieces.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I've always thought that would be the scariest position to be in as a tattoo artist, and like the animosity or anxiety that you were talking about with your like proteges not wanting to get out of bed. If I had to do, you know, mom's face or grandpa's face, and you buckle that, because I've seen enough of those images on Instagram. Where it looks like a melted crayon.
This whole Instagram page is about it. They're great.
Yeah.
Right.
It's you know, it's funny that you say that too, because you know, I've been asked, you know, what's the hardest tattoo you've done or you do, you know, and I'm like, portraits. And then they're like, if you can just pick one tattoo to do, what would you do? I'm like, portraits. And they're like, so you would want to do the hardest? I don't know. It's a challenge
Risk
for me.
reward.
Yeah, and it is, because it is the hardest thing, because the wrong type of shading on the nose and eyes can change everything. You know what I mean? The wrong type of shading on the nose, they got a fat nose, they got a skinny nose, they got a busted nose, you know?
I hate it when they don't realize what it actually looks like. Because they're so used to seeing their spouse or whoever else
in the way that
every
they want
day.
to see them.
Exactly. So if their one eye is a little bit lower, or their nose is crooked like mine, like whatever, it's you don't see that physically, but then we're doing it on paper, and you're like, just so you see this, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Like her eye is a little bit lower on the right side.
Have you ever had a client ask you to be like,
Make them skinnier? Yes.
or
I swear to God, all
or
the
like,
time.
hey, can you like keep the mole off their nose?
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to do one where the lady has braces. Take the braces off, but
Braces is one thing.
yeah. But a super funny one was working, and they had went to in Vegas. They have those places where you put your head on almost a board, but it's not a board, but it's like a whatever
stand-up thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you and great picture, and I'm just like, oh wow, it's cool. And then I'm like looking at the picture, and I'm looking at the wife, looking at the picture. I'm just like, she goes, "Oh no, we're down the hallway. We just got that done." Because it was like her in a bikini pose, probably a good 80 pounds lighter.
Oh wait. So that was the reference photo?
Yes,
So
they wanted. Yeah.
So instead of photoshopping, she just went and found like some pinup chick and put her.
Right, exactly. So
Those
yeah,
boards you see
there's
before.
tons
On
of
the
that where the
boardwalk,
wife
something.
goes, "Made me look
my
skinnier," and you're just like, there's tons of that going on.
Oh my god, the husband's like, make her blonde too.
But on portraits myself, like I love doing portraits too, but I like doing animals better because you can fuck up that 10% all the time, and they would never notice it. But I would say, if I ever asked you to do a picture of my wife, I think that's the one when we're so close. And I have a friend, Peter, who I had to do his wife's portrait on his arm. And that was like this. That was one of my hardest ones.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to see him at dinner next week. I'm going to see him for the next however long. And that was probably the worst one I've ever had to do. Like as far as pressure wise.
When I did, Clint Cummings is a tattoo artist that passed away. But he was like a big tattoo artist in the industry, and his brother came to me. And Clint Cummings and I were pretty close as well, but his brother came to me and wanted a portrait of him on his back, huge. And yeah, that one was like a tough one too, man. You know, I was like, I literally had to go in the restroom and just like pray, like this, you know,
Yeah, please God, steady my hand.
yeah, working my hands, make sure that this is, you know, and it ended up coming out pretty good. But when I was on the show, we did
Ink Masters.
yeah, and we were doing like the detail challenge or something like that, and I did this pharaoh, and it was photorealism. So I did this pharaoh, and the pharaoh had like some crooked like lines, and it was a statue. So you know there's cracks in the statue, there's dents in the statue, you know. So I added all of that stuff, you know. And I remember Chris Nunez when he was critiquing me, he said, you know, well, this line right here, this is all crooked. And I'm like, that's the way it was in the photo, you know? And then he was just like, well, maybe you should have fixed it. I said, this is photorealism, you know? And then he goes, yeah, but you know, when you're tattooing, if you see something wrong, you should fix it. And I said, okay, so when I'm doing a portrait and the guy has a lazy eye, do I make it a good eye? No, you make it a lazy eye because that's the photorealism. You know what I mean? And then he just like stood quiet.
Is this Captain Toothpick?
No, that's Oliver.
No, that's Oliver.
Oliver, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was so good. I loved Oliver on this because he's like reminds me of a military guy that he would bust your balls in half a second.
Yeah.
You know?
I hated that guy.
Yeah.
Really?
I hated him.
I figured it was a toss-up.
Yeah,
Dude, he was like, I don't know if you ever watched like America's Got Talent or anything. But,
Yeah.
all right, so Chris Nunez, he critiqued your stuff, and he was completely honest. Hey guys, this is TV. Even if your freaking tattoos the shit, we're gonna crap all over it. You know what I mean?
Are asking
Yeah.
for it.
yeah.
Perfect.
It's a game, yeah.
Oliver wanted to make you look stupid on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
that's
what I
not
mean?
cool.
He wanted to be the Simon Cowell.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So that's what like pissed me
Yeah.
off. You know
but
what
it was
I mean?
good jokes though, because like the surrealism one, when it's like, oh, it's surreally fucked up. He said some really good ones. I was like, wow. If it was easy, the prize would be $20.
How about the readability and the legibility and the photability? Like everything was ability. You know, it's just like
I know they played
making
on their
up words.
challenge
Yeah.
one for the
you know?
week. They would run up a couple of those.
Wasn't
so.
he dating Kat Von D for a while?
He actually taught Kat Von D. This is what I heard. He had Kat Von D. He trained her to tattoo, right? As far as what I understood.
I just
He has
know that they were
Catherine.
married. And
Yeah, he
Yeah.
He has Catherine on his stomach, really like fucking massive.
wow. That's
Then it
commitment.
says, "It's a bitch."
Does he?
Yeah,
what I know is that
that's
nobody
funny.
even knew who this guy was until Kat Von D was on Miami Ink, and then she brought him on the show.
Yeah, yeah.
And then everybody knew because everybody was like, "What the hell? She's with that guy?"
I know, right?
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because on Miami Ink, she was like super hot.
Yeah.
man.
yeah.
So, yeah, and then this freaking knucklehead comes out. You know what I mean? But yeah, I wanted to smack that toothpick out of his mouth so many
Yeah.
times.
Push
dude.
it in.
I heard
Yeah.
that's where he had a toothpick. I don't know the true story, but
Yeah. That's what I heard too.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
why.
what about the toothpick?
well, it's already why he had a toothpick was because somebody smacked him in the face.
somebody?
but I don't
freaking
know.
It's
It's
like a
knocked him out.
deterrent? Like you don't want to...
No,
Yeah, it's like a
no,
porcupine.
no. Like he had to keep it in there so it wouldn't lock his jaw up or something, or I don't know.
No
Interesting.
shit.
Yeah.
That sounds like Reddit.
Yeah, but I ended up seeing him at a tattoo convention like right after I got off the show and stuff, and he was tattooing, and I walked up and right behind him, and I was like, that shit better have bold lines and freaking saturated colors. And he looked up at me and he like covered the tattoo, and he's like, oh, hey, what's up, Ceeze? You know, like didn't want to even show me the tattoo.
Should start tickling them? Fucking
Yeah.
It's so crazy when other artists walk up on you. That's the normal thing to do is to cover up what you're doing so they won't see what you're doing. Because you don't want them to like if you're not happy with it, you're like, I'm not going to show you this.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
I think it's kind of the same with photographers. Like if I'm doing like a dual photo shoot with like two other, or like another photographer, he's like, "You get bangers?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, "Let me see." I'm like, no,
Really?
because I got to find the banger. Like I'll find what I want to show
You
you.
got to find the one that represents.
Yeah, because I just took 30. You know, like there's one in there, but I'm not going to go through on an 8-inch LCD screen and show you.
Man, I'm such a tourist in these areas. Like I like a little bit
You
of
got-
art. And I
yeah, you
appreciate
got
it, but
the
I'm not
tattoos,
I'm not
yeah.
an artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break.
Yeah, perfect time.
Let's do it.
But my question was going to be, because like you said, it seems like there's a lot of similarities between like kind of military culture and tattoo culture and kind of this like old guard mentorship, a lot of different things. What are your thoughts on like, because you guys have been around for a long time, and it seems like women in the industry are still like not a big part of it. And how did that come about? And like, has there been any kind of like, how's that transition been or integration been?
Right now there's a
changed,
surgeons
yeah.
of women. I mean, it's
Sick
I
freaking
have
women.
3 in my shop. Like it's literally,
Cool.
oh, actually across the board, across all my shops, there's, I'd say probably 10, at least 10. So you're talking 30% of all the artists I have. But
So
yeah,
why-
back in the day for sure,
Yeah.
it was,
So why do you think they stayed away, and why do you think they're coming in now?
stayed away was because it was that old guard mentality, like the old biker, like, you know,
Yeah.
we're not
the
going to hire any fucking
Too-
bitches.
like big machismo.
Yeah,
type.
yeah, like just that for a long time, and then there was probably, I don't want to say it because I never experienced it myself, but I know I've heard stories from the ladies that it was a sexual abuse or, to get your apprenticeship you got to do this,
Yeah.
like just a lot of that
Yeah.
bullshit that, But now we just had another girl apply yesterday. There's plenty of girls that are really good that want to just come in there and do their job and not get harassed or get,
Yeah.
My wife and I actually just opened up an all-girl tattoo studio.
Oh,
No shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Fucking
cool.
congrats.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Monarch Tattoo Gallery.
girls only.
Only girls.
Only girls club.
Only girls.
Yeah.
No,
Monarch.
it's Monarch.
Yeah, it's
sorry.
called Monarch Tattoo Gallery.
Where's that at?
And it's in Lake Elsinore and Canyon Lakes.
Awesome.
So
Hell yeah.
yeah. So it's an all-girl studio. It's a small little studio, only 4 artists in there, but yeah, we figured it would be because Canyon Lake. I don't know if you guys know anything about Canyon Lake.
No.
But Canyon Lake is actually their own. It's like a city within the city. You know what I mean? So in Lake Elsinore, you got Canyon Lake, and Canyon Lake is a gated community. And supposedly there's a lot of swinging going on over there.
A lot of pineapples on the front doorstep.
Dude, yeah. There's
Yes.
little communities that like that, man. Yeah.
Yeah, like you got red lights and green lights going on
Yep.
in
Yeah.
those places.
That's
It's
big
funny
in,
how every community has their own little bat signal.
that's big in Scottsdale and like the Phoenix area with the Mormon community.
Steiner Ranch in Austin, they used to have like if you had like a gnome with a blue gnome outside, because we were looking at getting a place out there, and then they're like kind of. So they're like, well, do you know
sure?
about the blue gnomes? They're like, no, what's that? We're like, we're not moving to Steiner Ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all ride their like golf carts, and they ride across the street, and then there's like a bar across the street where apparently they all have like these black wristbands or whatever. That if you have one of those, then you're one of them, and
Wow.
then they all mingle at the bar and stuff like that, dude.
That's cool. I mean, good for them. As long as they're consenting adults, like do whatever fucking floats your
We
boat,
had some in
man.
our shop the other day like that. That were just, I was like just doing my tattoo, and I looked over, and you see him kind of making out, and then you're like, wait a second, was he making out with that one? And then
Yeah.
and when one of the helpers came over and said, oh, they're in here swinging, they're in town to swap,
See,
and
I
I'm like
just-
going, Jesus Christ!
I just
like,
don't see how that could not end in some just
yeah.
unnecessary
I'm
drama.
I'm way too old school I don't share.
It's not successful, but it's fun.
I guess. I mean, I can
Back in
see-
the day, it was
if you're
fine
on the
when I
way
was single.
out-
Okay, I can say I've done some.
Yeah.
I've done some weird shit with girlfriends. These are not
Yeah.
things I would do with my wife, though.
No,
you
no,
know?
I couldn't agree
Yeah.
more. I mean, my ex and I, as soon as I hated her, I'm like, all right, I was too pussy to get divorced, so I was like, let's just swing. We did, and we got divorced. But it was fun on the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will.
Also, I mean, it only happens. I feel like San Diego is such a big hub for it. Such a big hub. Like my wife and I have been propositioned. I can't fucking count how many times I swing. And it's just, I'm like, I'm good now because no, this is my wife. I'm not on my way out to this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
this is
in like
my
a
forever one.
super low drama time right now. Like everything's good. We get along great. Like everything's low drama. I'm like, I don't want to fuck with this. You know what I mean? Like, no, thank you, dude. I can't imagine dropping a fucking drama bomb in a relationship. Like,
That's all it is.
hey, how about you suck his dick? Like, oh
Right.
my god, no, that's not gonna.
I can barely get mine. No, over here.
Baby, I took
over
your
here.
berries. Over here. Yeah, way more blowjobs when I was single. Jesus.
Well, I know it's Valentine's Day.
I know, right? Coming up.
She wants a present.
I forgot what day it is. It's a good reminder. Good reminder.
Oh, I wasn't allowed to forget.
Oh, my wife's
shit, it is
Russian, so
coming
she's
up,
already
that's
like,
right.
I need flowers, chocolate, and I'm just like, you got nothing.
Dude,
Oh
I'm
my
fucked this
God.
month. I got my wife's
It's 2
birthday.
days from now.
Our anniversary
Yeah.
and Valentine's Day. Luckily, yours is out of town.
Yeah, I got another week and a half to figure out what to get her. For
Yeah,
Valentine's
So you got to do with what my wife and I do, man. Is Christmas, birthdays, Valentine's. We don't give each other anything.
That's where we're at
Nothing.
now.
There's
It's
no gifts at
so
all.
much nicer.
Because she gets whatever she wants all year round. So
Facts.
Yeah.
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 So that's
I'm
what I said.
similar.
Birkin bag. I said, I already got you a Birkin bag. I don't need to get you something else. Yeah. that's enough.
You're set for the year.
Yeah.
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 But you know the quote
get a
is 2
$10,000
bags a year, you know? I didn't know that. She goes, I was like, I'm going to get you your dream bag. And like, got it for you. And then it was just turns into, I get 2 a year.
My wife has transferred that into horses now, so she is.
Damn.
She's riding horses at a 2-week horse show up in fucking. It's over by Palm Springs. I forget what it's called. It's a
Palm
big horse
Desert?
show. Yeah, it's.
It's
I don't
called
know.
something.
I forget what it's called.
I remember
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
It's a big
outside of
horse
it.
show.
Oh, okay.
But man, it keeps her grounded. Keeps her level. She doesn't ask for shit because she knows like that's way more money than I bought. I've only bought my last 3 years. I bought myself like 3 pairs of Chuck Taylors. That's all I bought myself the last couple of
This
years.
is coming from a guy that used to have 1,200 horsepower in a Lambo, and now you buy 2 horsepower.
Couple Lambos.
For your wife.
Yeah. Well, it's because I can't afford a fucking Lambo right now.
You're
But very
taking
soon
an
I
L
will
on
be.
this marriage deal here.
Dude, no, she doesn't want to keep it up. But, you know, the business is like, it ebbs and flows, man. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes you're winning and sometimes you're losing. And I think, like, because we've been in business on and off for, well, different businesses, but for 19 years now. And, dude, there's sometimes when you're like, $3,000 a month Lambo payment, no fucking problems. Other
Yeah.
times, like, Chuck Taylor's are $60 on Amazon. I'm gonna wait.
I'm the same way. Like, you're going, But I go drop 500 in a casino in half a second. You're like, oh, sweet, I'm gambling.
And, it's
I'm
not,
gonna
not to
win.
say it comes and it goes because there's certain patterns that you know dictate whether it comes or whether it goes. But what I've come to understand now is that like, dude, it's part of the cycle, and you just got to trust the process, trust. You know, God, fate, universe, plan, whatever you believe in, and keep doing the work, man. If you keep putting in the work, like the right opportunities will pop up and things will work out. But yeah, business is fucking. I mean, goddamn, definitely like the hardest thing I've ever done, man. Fucking, it's.
Is there ever really a huge dip in the tattoo industry? Because COVID could have been a prime example if it was affected. But then I'm just trying to think if there would be.
There
like
always is in our industry. There's
We have
always
dead
these
time.
ebb and flows. There's always ups and downs. But I try and put my shops in locations that are heavy traffic, so you're not have to pay too much for extra advertising and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But COVID was great because there's all the free money. Everybody was just coming in like they acted like they had $1 million in the bank account.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I had people like sending me their stimulus checks. You know, like literally, I would just get a Venmo. It was like $1,400. I was like, what the heck?
You know exactly
Like,
what that is.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
gave you my
Shit.
my freaking stimulus.
I think that's where we're at with our industry right now, though, is that it is in this downfall right now where the oversaturation, everybody's Instagram famous now, like all this stuff is going on, and the market, like maybe the generation that's coming in right now doesn't want to get tattooed as much, even though Post Malone, like all these other guys are just heavily tattooed. That are like, I think that dictates a lot
Well,
too.
they start out with a fucking face tattoo.
Right.
Like, what the?
Oh,
like, I
nothing.
remember
We would
coming
never-
up,
we
you
would
had to,
never
like,
do that
You had
before.
to start at the shoulder and then
Yeah.
go all the way down.
Yeah, you
Now
had
it's
to
like,
have
they're
full sleeves.
starting with the neck and face. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the shut up,
Yeah.
nerd. What the fuck
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
doing?
Nothing
I've seen
pisses me off more
moms.
with hands and nothing else on
Yeah,
the arms.
I've seen old ladies. There was a lady that came in probably in her 40s, and she wanted a rose on her hand, and she had no other tattoos, and they got it. But back when I started, there was no way we would do that tattoo. If
Ever.
there's ever, you got to get your neck or knuckles or anything, you'd have to be you had to have full sleeves minimum.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been weird. I think there's a lot to be said for like, gatekeeping is sometimes fucking useful. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes you should guard the fucking character or the culture a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, things change and things need to be changed. It should be changed sometimes, but like, holy shit, man! Like just this free for all of a bunch of different shit and like everybody social media is a big part of that, where everybody thinks their opinion matters. I'm like, who the fuck are you? You're sleeping on your mom's couch and you're 30 years old. Like, what the? You haven't done anything with your life, and you somehow think that your opinion is valid on any fucking topic. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, go do something in your life. Go build something. Go build something of value and make your opinion worth fucking listening to. And then you should get on fucking Instagram. And
we would get it all the time for the show. Like when we would, once you get off the show, people would feel like that they had the right to critique you.
Oh no!
And they would just literally, you would post a tattoo like you normally would do, and then they would just be like, "Well, that looks a little fucking off," and I remember just going through that, and it just would eat me up a little bit. So I'm like going, "Who are you?" And I go look at their page, and it'd be the same thing you're saying. One was
it takes some getting used to.
Yeah,
for sure.
It did, and it is rough to listen to it, but you see it, and you're just like, man. There was one that had, I went to their page, and it was all cats. It was every picture was a cat, and I'm like going, but I had done this phoenix on this guy's whole one side, and it was his first tattoo. Super proud of it, but he wanted the eagles or like an eagle head on the phoenix, like make it more like an eagle. So I did it, and then the lady says, "Oh, it looks more like this kind of bird," and I'm just like,
"That's a parakeet."
Yeah, something, And so I said
Garfield,
something back, and then I just said, "So says the cat lady," and then they just the people that followed me just started railing her, just like, Or
that was one time we were on our way. We were literally at the airport on our way to El Paso, a tattoo convention in El Paso, and as I'm at the airport, I posted like the tattoo that I had just done recently, which was I believe it was a portrait or something. And then this guy gets on there and just critiques the hell out of the portrait. Well, what's wrong with this? And why did you do this? And blah, blah, blah. So I go on his page real quick, and he does like little acrylic painting that my granddaughter can probably do, a lot better. But anyways, dude, I just told him, I said, "Hey man, thanks for the critique. That's how people grow, by critiques and stuff like that. Just something positive.
Kill them with kindness."
Yeah. We get to the convention, and it was Saturday, the second day of the convention, and my wife and I were standing in our booth, and I like turned down the aisle, and I'm like, "Get the hell out of here." I said, "Guess who's walking down right now?" My wife saw who. I'm all, "That freaking guy that critiqued my piece." And then she's all, "Are you going to challenge something?" My wife always like tries to pump me up. She's like, hurt somebody. "Are you going to challenge something? Are you going to challenge something?" No, just like, "No, let's just see what he does."
Punch him in the face.
Yeah. So he comes over to the booth, and he like just starts going through my portfolio and everything. And I'm just standing there just looking at him. And then he just goes, "Sick work, bro." And then walks away.
Shit, right.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this freaking
They do that
guy,
all the time.
dude.
They'll say something, and as soon as you respond to them, they're just like, "Oh, it was no offense. I just was,
That's my favorite position to put people in when it comes to haters or shit talkers. Just like kind of kill them. Ryan doesn't.
I
Ryan
never
just
kill him with kindness.
He lights a hand grenade and tosses it in the well.
Bro. I love because I'm a nice person, and we try to do the right thing. We're always kind of nice about shit. So when somebody comes at us, like just over, like whatever, I look at it like somebody, I look at it as physical confrontation, like somebody coming up and they want to fight you. Like, if you come up to me and you look like you're about to punch me in the face and you're saying, "Fuck you," like, I'm going to punch you first. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So I look at it as like, you come onto our page, we're not asking you shit. You come on our page, you say some fucking incendiary shit. I'm like, well, this is going to be super fun. Like, I love it. And I love responding from the company page too, because they never expect it, because they expect you to be like, "Well, sorry, sir, blah, blah, blah." And they're like, "Go fuck yourself with the cactus." They're like, what?
What do you mean 1-star review? Fuck you.
Oh,
You piece of shit.
I have such a good time with it, man, because like the type of people that do that are all the same. They're all these do-nothing, couch-sitting bitches that have never done anything, and the only thing good in their life, because there's only two ways to build the tallest building, there's only two ways to have the tallest building in town. You can either build the tallest building, or you can tear everybody else's building down. These guys are the latter. That's all they do, is try to tear everybody else down to make themselves feel better. Those are usually the most insecure people, so they're the easiest to fuck with. So like the cat people or whatever, I just go on their page. A lot of times what I'll do, because they always post these shots of them where they think they look fucking cool and they just look like biggest fucking nerds.
Yeah,
bro.
take a picture of yourself now.
Dude, I just take a screenshot of that and respond to him like, "This you?"
You're like, oh shit.
I love fucking with those people though, man. It's like sometimes it's the highlight of my day. Like, I really enjoy it because you can't hurt me with these things. Like I don't value the opinion of some fucking do nothing nerd.
Yeah.
I did have to stop reading our comments on the podcast though. Well, only on Facebook because they're two very different demographics. Every now and then I'll poke in on the ones on Instagram. I'm surprised that I haven't been hemmed up for the alien one on Instagram for this.
Well, it's coming yet. Some Men in Black gonna be visiting you, bro.
I've been told that a lot. I've had a lot of DMs who like, when you disappear, we know why.
Well, at least people know you're on the show. Like the only comments we get are people talk shit about Kevin or talk shit about you. Nobody even knows I'm on the show. Like, who's that Ryan guy? Don't mind me.
So, Joey, when we were on break, we were kind of hunting for some things, and you mentioned something about a woman shitting herself. Was this while you were tattooing her?
Okay, so there's two stories about girls pooping their pants and a grown man pissing his pants. But typically it takes from passing out. So they're going to pass out, lose body function, and then just, then they wake up and are like, oh, what happened? But the one with the most dramatic one was I was in Florida, I had a shop in Florida, and the girl came in and got a piercing, but she was kind of liquored up, and my piercer went over there and did the piercing. And
where was this piercing?
The tongue. It was the tongue. And then we had the old school barber chair, so she's sitting in there. She passes right out, and then she'd wake up and go, "I gotta go to the bathroom," and then she'd pass right back out. And about the fifth time she was waking up, going, "I gotta go to the bathroom," she was with this guy, and I said, "Okay, let's get her up and start walking her, and she'll hopefully stay up." And we walk, and she gets up, and then we start pick her up and walking her, and then there's like a little area you have to there's a small way to walk through, and so I said, "You got her?" "Yeah, I got her." So he basically walks her through the display counter area, and then she just falls to the ground. So he didn't have her. So she falls to the ground, and she's just laying there. And I said, "Get the smelling salts." So we got the smelling salts, and literally he's on the ground with their head like almost like Saving Private Ryan or something. And I hit her with the salts, and she goes like this. She looks right up, and she goes, "Bleh!" And it goes up in the air, and then splatters all over herself. And then I would say within 10 seconds, it was probably the most foul smell I've ever smelled in my life. And I looked down, and it's just, you could just tell she had just shit everywhere. And we get her to the bathroom. Yeah, get her to the bathroom. Like I didn't. Like I said, you go to the bathroom, but I had to pay my apprentice like $100 because the lady had went in there and basically the shit was everywhere. Like she pulls down her pants, it's all over the toilet, on the fucking walls. Like it was everywhere. But the funny part of the story is she came back like 2 months later, didn't even realize she had been in my store.
What?
Yeah.
She was that fucked up?
She was that fucked up. And then she passed out again, but she didn't shit herself. but yeah, I mean that's it was so bad. But then the other poop one was like literally the lady. I was doing a little small shoulder tattoo. And yeah, it was more of a shard, but she literally she actually got sick, and they're supposed to fill out the release form. Have you been drinking? She said no. But then I'm have her lay down, and I'm like literally like the cubicles where I was at was super small, and there's a big table right here. She's laying down, I'm doing her shoulder, and she's like, "I think I want to be sick," and I'm like, "Okay." So I pull the trash can over, and she just starts like projectile vomiting, and then she goes, "Thank God I shouldn't have drank those margaritas," and so it just then all that margarita smell, and I'm like, I can't go anywhere. But I finished the tattoo, and she gets up and walks out, and as soon as she turns around, she's got a big old shard stain. No. And she's all like, she's doing this, tapping her ass, going, "Man, I'm all hot and sweaty."
Yeah, you are.
I'm like, yeah. I said, I was like, "Did you see that?" She just shit her pants.
No.
But yeah, it is crazy. Some of this, our experiences of, when they pass out, that happens. I've seen.
I had the
girls
freaking
biting people. Like it's been.
I've had the shit bandit in my shop. Yeah, dude. Believe it or not, this is super crazy. We don't even know who it is, man. But last year, it was like the beginning of last year, dude. Like I just got a new apprentice, so he's cleaning up the restroom, and he walks out and he goes, "Hey, Ceeze, it smells like freaking crap in the restroom." And I said, "Well, maybe somebody took a dump, dude. And he goes, no, it like smells like it's in there, you know? And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. So we just like ignored it. So a couple of days go by, dude, and it still reeks bad in the restroom. So he starts looking for it. And when he starts looking for it, he opens up underneath the sink. And there's a Lysol can that we have underneath the sink. Somebody literally took a dump and put it on the top of the Lysol can and then just put the Lysol can under the sink, right? And so he took a picture and he sent it to me because I'm like just coming to work. And I'm like, what the hell? He goes, yeah, I found it, dude. It's on the Lysol can,
That's so
dude.
much work.
Yeah.
And then they had to
Exactly.
fix it.
How do you just hold
You
the
gotta
can?
touch it. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
So then he cleans it up and everything, you know, and then a couple months go by, and then I get a new apprentice, you know, and she comes out of the restroom saying the same thing. So I'm like, what? So right away we go to under the sink and we look, there's nothing. Well, in between the sink and the toilet, I had this plant that just like this fake plant that was there. And she moves that out of the way, and then there's just crap just like smeared all on the wall. And I was like, what the hell, man? You know, so she ends up cleaning that. Fast forward like 6 months later, I go into the restroom and I smell it, crap again. And I'm just like, what the hell, man? So again, first instinct is go into the sink, make sure there's nothing there, nothing. We had already moved that plant so that there was nothing on the wall. But I moved the plant to the other side of the restroom, and I had like this corner shelf with a couple of my plaques there. So I'm like sniffing around, and then me and another artist, we go in there, crack the door open. We're both like sniffing around, trying to find this freaking crap. As I'm going along the wall, I smell it where the shelf's at. And I'm like, bro, it's right here where the shelf's at. So I move the shelf, and I look behind it, and there's nothing, right? So I'm like, well, there's nothing there, and I don't smell it no more. So I'm coming towards the shelf, and it smells on the. I said, dude, it's on the shelf, bro. It's on the somewhere on the shelf. So we're looking and everything, and he's like moving the plaques and stuff like that, and I'm like looking underneath, you know.
Yeah.
He's all, Ceeze, you're not gonna believe this. I said, what? He grabs my plaque and he turns it around, dude.
No.
And there's just crap just smeared all on
that's
the back
just
of my
mean,
plaque,
bro.
dude. Yeah. And I
Dang.
can't throw the plaque away because it's like it's an H2 Ocean plaque, and I have it signed by everybody.
Oh, damn.
Tony Leva, like all these legends in the
It's gotta
industry.
be an employee.
Yeah, so while I'm looking at this freaking plaque all pissed off, you know, he goes, Ceeze, look at the plant. And I was like, what? So I like lift up it was a plant that had like the big leaves. You couldn't even see the pot. So I lift up the leaf, bro, there was a pile of crap, dude, in the pot of the plant. And it gets worse, dude. They literally got the crap and then smeared it all on the branches. So you couldn't even like save the plant, dude. We had to just throw the whole thing.
Okay. So,
Oh my god.
did you kick somebody's ass? Like, what is going on?
What on earth?
It's just a freaking shit bandit.
Somebody's got some issues.
So the
dude.
band is still out there?
He's out
Oh
there
my
somewhere.
God.
He or she's out there somewhere.
Somebody's got
But
good fiber going on though.
Yeah.
You know?
I did have this weird apprentice, man, and I'd have to say that we haven't had anything anything happen since she's been gone. But
She?
I would say you got to
Yeah.
Google this too. I don't know the whole story, so I don't want to verbatim it. But like the poop rock one, you've seen that online?
no.
The poop rock where the guy was telling such a fucking crazy story about an old guy going and getting tattooed, and he wanted cherubs on his ass. And he was like, "Oh, the guy went outside to go smoke, and then he went to the bathroom, but every time like he would lose his shirt, or then he would lose his pants." And then he was like, then the guy just came off, like, you know, he's rubber, like, what is that called? Ducking it when you got your shirt on and no drawers.
He calls him Porky Pig.
Porky
Pig,
Pig,
yeah.
yeah.
So he's
my
like,
favorite.
he's walking in from smoking, and he has no drawers on, and he lays down on the table. So he's telling this crazy story, and you're like, there's no way this is true. No way this is true. And then the guy was like, hey, did you see a rock? You know, like there was a missing rock. So basically he had a rock shoved up his ass. And you just kept going and going, and you're like, there's no way it's true. At the very end, they had pictures of the old guy laying on the table, butt naked,
Just shoving a fucking...
getting the cherub on his ass, and then he had a picture of the fucking rock because he goes, "Did you see a rock outside?" Because I guess he had shit the rock out outside or something.
What?
Yeah. But yeah, you just gotta. It's like a poop rock story. But yeah,
seeing his face over there, he's just like, "What the fuck
I'll
is
have to
going on?"
yeah. Like it's crazy. And at the very
That's
end there was like
crazy.
5 pictures that validated the whole story. So I was like, this is like probably one of the craziest stories I've ever
Dude,
heard.
people are so weird.
Yeah.
Weird,
So
dude.
weird.
Yeah.
Well, the
Say-
comfortability of it, like just like I was saying, like the military guys coming and dropping trowel, like this guy to go outside and decide he's going to pull all of his
That's
lower
a
clothes
fetish.
off
The-
and then walk inside and say, "Hey,
The no pants comfortability is just a byproduct of your environment.
Yeah.
But shitting and rubbing it up and down like a steak plant, like a double, like that thing,
Yeah.
is a whole
Some
other
people have
ballgame.
some serious issues, bro. So I remember.
I just saw that Darth Vader."
Oh yeah, that's Kevin's
I just kept on
contribution.
thinking it was Darth Vader. It's Darth Invader.
Yeah, Darth Invader. May the force be in you.
There's some broad shoulders.
So I don't. You know how memories get distorted over the years. Like you hear so many stories, you forget like which ones are yours and which ones you hear, or maybe that's just me. But I remember there's a story, and my dad is a doctor, so I didn't grow up with him, but over the years when I was living with him, and his wife was a nurse too, so they have a bunch of weird stories from like hospital time. So I'm thinking this story comes from that, but they had this fucking, this highlights how weird people are, bro. They had this like frequent flyer in the hospital that would come in, and frequent flyer, like the same people come in with like they're always having fucking problems, right? So this dude had this thing where he would cut all the hair off a Barbie doll's head and ingest them, and he would poop them out and then re-ingest. So he always wanted to have 7 Barbie doll heads in him at any one time. It's just a weird fetish. And like he would shit them out, and then I'm assuming like clean them up a little bit, and then so he'd always have 7 Barbie doll heads running through his system. And they're like, "Bro, you gotta like, this is not healthy, man. You gotta like do something about this." And he just wouldn't quit. And they're like, I mean, there's no like majorly medically wrong with that other than your head is pretty fucked up for doing that.
Yeah.
But they're like, I mean, your system can handle it aside from the fucking E. coli or whatever it is. But like, people are right. I'm like, dude, people do the weirdest.
Yeah. Do you watch
shit.
Intervention at all? Like
No.
Intervention's like kind of like that. Like there's something, but you're either doing drugs, you're doing whatever. And there's a couple of those that I watched that was like, how can people get into these situations where you're just in the back seat of a car laying down on the floorboards huffing paint? Yeah. I was like, God,
That's weird, man.
How
Like
could
I
you?
understand weird fetishes, like foot fetish, right? Like some people are into feet. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Not my
Yeah.
thing, but whatever. I'm into butts, and I don't care about tits. Like, you got your thing, right? How the fuck are you into re-ingesting Barbie doll fucking heads? Like, what service does that provide you? Like, you know what? I just feel so much better with 7 Barbie doll heads in my
I can feel it
intestines.
tingling down my body.
Yeah. So I got a hard time ingesting all my vitamins every night.
Right,
I can
I mean, that's
imagine like swallowing that thing. That's a gullet.
Bro,
You're like
that's a
turkey.
lot. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
like a golf ball.
So the head with the hair on it?
I think he cut the hair off beforehand.
Oh, it's like the heads. Okay.
the whole head.
It's kind of like a hookah brush. It's just going down the colon.
It's
just
cleaning my
nice and-
system.
Nice little buzz cut.
Man, that's why he's cleansed. He probably lives longer than me. Probably didn't have a heart attack.
His name was Sid,
He's probably
too.
more healthy than me.
Well, what about
Cleansed
have you
out.
heard the how people like freaking stick a funnel in their butt and then pour coffee?
Oh yeah.
Oh, coffee enema.
Yeah, coffee enema.
It's like duh.
yeah. You know, I do it all the time. You know,
It's
once
supposed to be really good for you.
yeah, I don't know about that, dude. But
Yeah.
who even thought of that? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, hey, let's
Yeah.
try this and see what happens.
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
supposedly you absorb it a lot faster.
Oh, no,
if
you
do
do.
it that way. So I could see if you don't have a lot of money. I mean, I would never do this no matter how much money I don't have. But if you have a shot of alcohol, you're like, well, I'm not really going to get drunk off a shot. But if you put the shot in your butthole, you might get drunk. If you're a severe alcoholic, that might be a
Cheaper way.
threshold you cross.
Oh no, that happens a lot. But and I even asked actually Tim Spear. I even asked him it would take 1/4 ounce of liquid in order to get you absolutely annihilated if you like took a syringe, pulled it out of vodka, and then just like injected it in your
I'm
butt.
surprised more alcoholics don't do that.
A lot of them do if
I
they
was
have
going to say, don't say
breathalyzers
this
in
on
the car.
camera. Like this is like
And,
a whole,
and ask me how I know.
later tonight they're like,
breathalyzer like that?
Yeah, because like your BAC's up there, but it tests your breath off your BAC in order to like start your car.
Shit. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So you have like the stealth.
Well, and here's another little throwback. So once upon a time when I was in Germany, we all got back from Ramadi, which is a 15-month pump. And that's back when ecstasy was pretty big in Europe. It's 2007. And a buddy of mine kind of disappeared for a little bit. We're at this like Russian nightclub. Same night that a hand grenade got brought out by like the Russian mafia in said nightclub because too many of the American GIs are fucking too many of their sisters. And so I'm looking for my buddy and I'm looking underneath all the stalls. All the stalls are locked, but only one of them didn't have feet showing and pants down around the ankles. And I'm like, who the fuck is in this one? And so I just jump up over and do a pull-up, and I look. It's my buddy. And he's sitting here with this pill of ecstasy, and he's shoving it up his ass because he wanted it to work faster. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, wah! And just like, it's so startling. He looks up, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, no, you don't you dare ask me that question. What the fuck are you doing? Yo, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I heard it works better. He's like, Doc told me. And I'm like, well, Doc's not wrong, but like, you ever thought of eating it? And he's like,
Yeah, just chew it up,
I wanted it to
bro.
work better.
Chew it up.
Because his justification was like, your liver and kidneys like process a lot of what potentially could get you elevated. And so this is just straight to the dome or back dome. I don't know. However you look at it.
Straight to the back door.
Yeah. So, either way, we diverted hard on that.
Yeah. That's a side quest, man.
yeah.
So,
Holy shit.
Ceeze, throw us one of your crazy East LA kind of stories. Like, what was like a super pivotal moment of maybe going to school or walking up down the street where you were just completely flabbergasted?
I mean,
Or even at like a house party?
yeah, back then house parties were like pretty crazy, man. You know, like, man, I remember being young and being at these house parties and doing so much stuff, man. Parents didn't really care, you know.
That was in the 90s. It was
Back
different.
in the days, you know what I mean? Like, I remember taking off in my bike, dude, and like literally leaving all day long in another city, you know what I mean? With no cell phone, nothing. We didn't have no cell phone, you know, and then just come back, you know. But
It's very fend for yourself era. Yes.
yeah, there's always been like, I was always known as like having a head on my shoulders, you know. So like, I was the smart guy that if somebody's gonna go and get drugs, here's my money. I'll wait for you here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the guy that's gonna go and get it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's funny because one of my brothers, he got arrested for armed robbery right in front of a cop. And they arrested him and everything. I'm the oldest. So the cop calls me up and tells me, hey, we just arrested your brother. He did an armed robbery trying to rob somebody, you know, right in front of us, blah, 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 whatever. And I said, is he right there? And he said, yeah. I said, can I talk to him? He said, yeah. So I'm talking to my brother, and while he's at the station, I tell him, what the hell's wrong with you, bro? You know, like, and he goes, I don't know, man. You do all kinds of stuff and you never get caught. Like, I'm not, first of all, you're in the station, dude. Like, that's probably something you shouldn't be saying, dude. But yeah, I've always been the guy that, like, I observe everything, you know. If I know that something's going to break off, you know, then I remove myself from the place.
It's a foresight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'm the one, you know, if like it's a whole gangbanging thing, then, you know, then I'm the one that's going to stay sober enough to where like I'm conscious enough to like, you know, fight or do what we got to do and then get out of the scene, you know what I mean? So and because of all that, you know, I had my first son, and I was like, you know, I have to break the circle, man. You know, like my grandfather was a gangbanger. My dad was a gangbanger. You know, I was involved in the gangs, you know, so I didn't want my son to know anything about that. So that's when I just picked up and just like left the neighborhood, man.
Yeah.
And changed it, you know, and now I have 3 boys and, you know, well, I got 4 boys now and none of them know anything about gangbanging.
That's
you know
God
what I
testing
mean?
you right
That's
there
cool.
by giving you all boys.
Yeah, right.
They're all
You
so
know?
likely to go in. They're like, all right, let's see what you do.
Yeah. And I totally, you know, just taught them a whole different way, you know, and a way of life. And I also, you know, I've always wanted to be better than anybody else, you know what I mean? And I guess being raised by a stepfather who abused and tortured us, that was another thing to where I was like, you know, when I become a father, I'm never going to be like this guy, you know? And, you know, and because he was my stepdad, you know, so I even said, you know, if I ever have stepchildren, I will never treat them the way he treated us, you know? And now, you know, and now I have stepchildren because we're a blended family, you know? And I adopted my daughter, so I got a daughter, you know?
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that was just me. That's always been, so I don't have like no crazy stories, you know, like, I've always gotten out of situations and removed myself from crazy things that happen.
How do you go
know?
about training your kids to have that level of foresight and kind of like observance, right? Because that is it's a trait that I have as well. And I feel like it served me well in the military, but like for children especially, to kind of like read the room and you're like, all right, well, I know this guy's with this crew, this guy's with this crew. I know, and they're just like pumping beers back. I know that this is going to be a shitty situation. And I mean, almost every combat veteran that I know, one of the prime examples is every time that we sit down in a restaurant, we kind of groom our women, girlfriends, wives, or whatever. It's like, we'll never sit with our back against a door. Right. So it's like that kind of little thing. And I can almost guarantee that you have it as well. How do you kind of train your kids to have that attention to detail?
And how old are your kids now, for reference?
So my oldest son is 34.
Oh, wow.
So I got 34, and then under him is 30. My son Brandon is 30. Then comes my daughter, she's 28. And then my son Daniel, he's 27. And then the youngest is Benny, he's 25.
Oh,
so
sweet.
So there's 2 older boys, 2 younger boys, and then my daughter's in the middle. One thing about like the way I raise my boys is I just raised them like men, you know, like I had to learn how to be a man like at a young age. And so having boys, like I raised them to be men, you know, and
Law started.
yep, if they fell, hurt themselves, get up, you're okay, you know. There was even times where like one of my boys was acting a little crazy at a teenage, you know, too big to be spanked, you know.
Yeah.
So I went out and bought boxing gloves, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, what are we going to do with these?
You want to be a man? Here you go, bro.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, well, you're too big to be, you know, spanked. I said, so, you know, you want to act like a fool, we're going to put these gloves on. And he goes, well, let's put them on now. I'm like, all right, let's put them on now. And I knocked the shit out of him. And then when I did that, he like, took them off. He's all, I don't want to do this no more. I said, well, you act a fool, you're going to do it again, you know. But even when they all moved out of the house and they, you know, they had to become men and, you know, and thank God they're married and they're doing really well. But when they all got out of the house, we had them all over. And I told my daughter, I said, hey, look, if you're struggling, come back home, save up money and this and that. And my boys were like, can we do that? And I said, absolutely not. You know? And they were like, well, why? Why can she do it? And I said, because you guys are men.
Yeah, sink or
You know?
swim,
Yeah. If you guys are going to have a family of your own that you're going to have to learn how to support and take care of. You know what I mean?
You have no laurels to fall back on.
Yeah. I'll help you, but I want you to do everything that you possibly can to, you know, to support yourself.
Well,
and
the
take
rules
care
are
of yourself.
different for men and women. I mean, we can say equality and whatever else, but the societal expectations and I say that in a good way. Like the traditional societal expectations are there for a reason, because it's kind of the way we're built, man. Like I forget who it was, but they had a really good whole expose on this. Is basically like men are judged on their ability to provide, and women, and they're loved, and proportionally to that, right? But you have to be useful. You have to provide. Women are different. Like you just have to be kind of there and
consistent.
And it helps if you're sweet, and it definitely helps if you're cute. But there's not a whole lot of expectations. But as a man, there's just some real like heavy expectations of you to perform, and you have to. And if you don't, there's a lot of consequences to that. Like you lose a lot of value in society, and some of that is, some of that is very valid.
One of the biggest, and I can't take full credit, but one of the biggest things that have changed my life and how I even raise my kids and how I even treat my wife is because of the way I was raised and everything. I was an angry person. And I mean, believe it or not, I was even like a woman abuser. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm ashamed to even say that, but it took
this
me.
Is a trust tree. We're all good here.
Yeah. But I did. I beat women, back in the day, and it took me to actually wake up one morning and just say to myself, like, I don't want to be like this. No, I don't want the anger anymore. You know what I mean?
Break the cycle. Yeah.
So yeah, and then I went to church, bro. I went to church in 1998, and I had my youngest son, and I accepted God in my life, and then after that, then the anger went away, man.
I was reading that about you. Can you talk a little bit more about that? How that transition, like, because it's one thing to say it, but there's a whole lot of catalyst, because when you live a big life, there's a lot of factors that go into it, and a lot of times it gets distilled down to like one moment, and you're like, fuck this. There's usually one thing. It's a mix of things, but it's usually one thing at the end that you're like, dude, fuck this fucking thing. I'm going to make a fucking shift. Was there any one thing and then also when you did make that shift towards towards God and Jesus, what did that feel like? Because it was kind of foreign to you, from what I'm understanding at the time.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't even really care about like knowing religion or anything like that. But it was I was with my ex-wife, and she was actually pregnant with our youngest son, and it was a Valentine's Day, and instead of being with her, I ended up like going and partying and getting all drunk and stuff like that. And I came home and wanted to, be with her or whatnot, and it wasn't happening. So I ended up getting physical with her, and I laid hands on her, man. And when I laid hands on her, then that's when, it was what it was, that night. But then the next morning, it happened to be on a Sunday, the next morning, and I woke up, and it was almost like God actually talked to me and was like, it's time for you to change, So I got up and I went up to her and I said, hey, is there a church around here? And she said, yeah, there's one down the street. And I said, you want to go? And she was just like, yeah, let's go, So we ended up going. And
was she religious before this, or she just like?
No, but her family was. Her mom and her dad were.
So this is a new thing for both of you guys at the time.
Yeah. So she knew about Christianity. I never knew about Christianity, because I was like raised Catholic and stuff, So we go to church, and I'm sitting there listening to the service, and, raised Catholic. This is the first time I'm at a Christian church, so this is the first time I'm like, oh, damn, I know what this guy's saying.
He's actually talking to me.
He's actually
as opposed to
talking.
bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm not calling Catholicism bullshit. But they're very different churches.
There's a difference between talking and preaching.
Yeah.
Exactly, and we're actually reading from the Bible, So anyways, he gives his service and stuff like that, and then at the end of the service, he says, we're going to have some music playing, and as the music's playing, if you want to change your life, if you feel like you need Jesus in your life, you want to change it, step out of the road, come down the aisle to the altar, and we'll pray for you and this and that. Well, my stomach starts burning, man, and I was just like, maybe, maybe I'm just hungry and hungover, you know what I mean? Because I had just drank the night before. So, maybe I'm just hungry. So anyways, the music stops and he goes, the music stopped, but I feel like there's somebody out there that wants to change his life. Wow. And as soon as he says that, like my entire body started burning, like a feeling I never felt before. So I told my ex, I said, I think I'm going to go up there. And she's like, let's go. So I started walking up, and literally as I'm walking up to the altar, I can feel everything just being lifted off me, all the anger, all the pain, wow. And then I just started bawling, dude, and I never was a crier because I was an angry person.
Yeah.
I even taught my younger brothers who were gang members not to have emotions because it's easier to hurt people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But here I am, like just bawling, going down this aisle, and I accepted Christ in my life. And as soon as I accepted Christ in my life, that's it, man. Everything just changed, like now I have all these feelings, and I always joke about it. And I tell people, now I accepted Christ, and now I'm a pussy. You know what I mean? Because now I'm like, I have emotions now. You know what I mean? It's the Holy Spirit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now my wife and I, if we're watching commercials or movies,
Old Yeller.
I'm freaking bawling. You know what I mean? But it was the whole change in my lifestyle and everything. And then it was at the perfect time because my boys were young, and then I just taught them like the church, and to this day, my boys are following Christ too. So
that was going to be one of my questions for you, right? Because I feel like it's a pretty good tip for tat as far as telling your son to man up, pick up, because when little kids cry, they fall down. What do? They immediately look at their parents for affirmation of like, this sucked, right? Mm-hmm. But also too much of that can be too much of that. And so where did the sensitivity fall in? And that was going to be an early question. Thank God I shut up and didn't ask the question, because correct me if I'm wrong, that was kind of this balance, right? Between how you raised him to be a man, but now also have compassion and empathy and sympathy for humanity.
Yeah. Well, to jump on that too, and we're not a religious show by any means. We're just kind of like I said on the phone earlier, like we're all kind of older dudes, and like you live a certain amount of life, and like just life looks different as you get older. You learn lessons and you figure things out. What I was going to ask is, once you made that change, how did that affect your to layer on what he's talking about, the family part, but also how did that change or affect your relationships with other people in your life?
So, first of all, like I just want to mention, like, religion destroys families. Religion destroys communities. You know what I mean? So it's I'm definitely not religious. You know what I mean? People, know that I'm Christian. And if they're talking about religion, right away they'll say, well, right, Ceeze, you're religious. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Well, aren't you Christian? Yeah, I'm Christian, but I'm not religious, So just to clarify that, but I'm sorry, what was your question again?
So he was asking, how did that affect how you're upbringing your children? And I was saying also, because a lot of times when you make these massive shifts or changes as an adult, a lot of times if you change, your friends have these expectations of you, and sometimes they're happy for you, sometimes they're like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
right. Yeah. So yeah, I lost a lot of friends. I lost family, I mean, there's 6 of us, I got 5 siblings, and the minute I became Christian, my 2 brothers who are gangbangers, like they were just, now he's better than us,
Oh, interesting.
So my whole family, they stopped talking to me,
Wow.
And then not only did I become Christian, but then I also, in my eyes, I became successful because then I started tattooing, and then, and then I started owning a studio, and then I owned 2 studios, and then, I bought my own house, and, and now I'm married to, a beautiful, wonderful woman, you know, that that totally keeps me in my place. But
Totally different life, yeah.
yeah, it's a total. You saw it. Yeah. She.
It's kind of what guys like us need sometimes, though.
Oh, hands
Yeah, we
down.
do.
Yeah, choose your equal, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even. I mean, to be blunt, I wouldn't even had been on Ink Master if it wasn't for her. Because when I got that call, you know, they wanted me on the show, and I told them no, I didn't want to be on your show, you know, and they were like, no, why, you know, because we got hundreds of artists that want to be on this show, and I'm saying no, and I said because you guys are nothing but drama, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
you know, so
Television.
yeah,
I'm your muse.
so I said no, and they were like, all right, well, you mind if we try you out next season? And I was just like, yeah, if you want, you know, but I hung up the phone, called my wife, and told her what happened. And she basically was like, you better get your ass back on that phone and tell him you'll do it. So then I called him right back, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll do your show, you know. And then that's how I got on the show. So thankful for my wife, you know, for
Dude, it's
keeping
so
me in
funny
place.
how like the different stories, but very parallel journeys. I know I know your story very well, which also parallels my story very well. And we all have strong women in our lives. Like my wife Disney is the CEO of both of our companies. And she's the first person to put me in my place because honestly, sometimes I need it because I'm very like fucking driven and pig-headed. I'm like, I'm going to fucking do this. I'm going to fucking do that. And she's like, well, yes, but did you fucking think about this? I'm like, well, no. She's like, well, you should really think about this. I'm like, dang it. And she's right. Like
Yeah.
most of the time she's right,
Yeah.
which pisses me off. But I'm like, God dang, man. But I think there's I always say, like, who you marry is the most important business partnership you'll ever make. Because if you look at your life like a business, you want to have a partner who contributes and is strong in the ways that you're weak, and you're strong in the ways that they're weak. And then the things that you can bring together because life is fucking hard, man. And the stronger you can be together, the package that you can bring, man, you can really help each other like navigate some of these turbulent waters that we all face. And it's been a wild fucking ride. But it's so funny that we have all these conversations, we meet all these new people, and there's so many parallels. There's so many
But
parallels.
I find
in some stuff.
it's all of our guests as well. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, it's kind of few and far between if we were to fucking walk outside and go anywhere else in this town. Like, we're not going to run into a collective with so many similarities as we do right now. And I feel like naturally, you know, as a byproduct, whether we want to call it God or fate or whatever it may be, that we are frequently introduced to individuals like yourselves that have, you know, similar stories and transitional phases and equal love for our spouses and the people that we used to be. I was an angry motherfucker. Oh my God, I was gross. And, you know, there was a catalyst, and I vowed never to be that same person again, just like you did. And Joey, I can't ever imagine you being angry, but you found a saint. And yeah, dude, I'm super stoked for all of us.
Oh, absolutely.
And also all the success that we found out of our women. Actually, that's a question to Joey. Has your wife really kind of elevated your sense of worth and your success in the industry?
Can we? I got a piece so bad,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Can we pause on this?
On a hitter of a question.
Take
Fuck
a
you,
break.
Ryan. I was essentially just going to ask Joey about differences in career path in life that you notice, you know, with your wife.
So, I mean, you were talking about support also,
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like how she backs me and stuff in my industry. But honestly, my wife's very driven. She's a Russian immigrant. She came over when she was 3 with her family.
Your wife's Russian?
Yeah,
She
from
doesn't look
Latvia.
Russian at all.
She's Latvian.
Okay.
But she speaks fluent Russian. The babushka lives with the house.
Niachil suka.
I don't know.
Babushka's
I speak
grandma.
about 20 words.
Yeah, I only
I
3.
know how
What's
to
up,
ask my
bitch?
mother-in-law if she farted. I say, "Tipuknol," like, "Did you fart?" But you know, she's very driven. She's always worked out. She's always had the athletic background. She competed IFBB Pro as a pro for 8 years.
Wow, that's hard to
So
do.
yeah, and usually the typical lifespan is 2 years for those girls. So she's always had that regiment, like I'm doing this, this, and this. But as far as support, she's always supported me. She's always been the one standing next to me, beside me, trying to help me, guide me on certain things. And I love it. I love that she's there, but also I'm a business person, and when I'm doing business and then she wants to put her 2 cents in, sometimes I just said it to her the other day, I'm like going, I want to hear what your input is, but sometimes if I've already talked to Ceeze for 2 hours on the phone about what we're doing for business, I don't want her asking me specific questions about it. You know what I mean? It's kind of a weird scenario.
Roles and responsibilities.
Yeah. But overall, like I love her to death, and she's accomplished a lot of stuff. We have an 8-year-old son together, and you know, I just got invited to go to my 40th high school reunion.
Oh wow!
And you're up for 2 awards. You're up for the most famous, and then the oldest person with a child.
No way.
And I was like, oh, you son of a bitches. But you know, I think she is like, that's the best part, is that she's a very strong person, and because she doesn't wear the pants in my family. I mean, Ceeze knows her very well too, and just same as Sandy. I know Sandy very well. She's very strong, and she's very opinionated, and she does help me out a lot. And she's very OCD on the house being clean, and you name it, she's on point. She's got her regimen every day, and I like that about her, because she's not bothering me too much, you know, when I'm at work. You know what I mean? Like my ex-wife used to be every 20 minutes calling me, just fucking yelling. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to work, and, you know.
Trying to build this life for us.
Yeah, exactly. And I think she has a lot of respect for me for that. It's like, she wants me to succeed. She's calling me Joey Bezos right now. She really wants me. Not if that's a good thing or bad. I don't know with Bezos.
It's kisses in Spanish.
Yeah.
No, Bezos is like Jeff Bezos.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was Bezos.
Yeah, no, not Joey. Not Joey kisses. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I'm happy that she's there. I mean, we've been almost together for 20 years. So
wow, that's awesome.
It's I can never imagine not being with her. Like, that's the kind of where I'm at with her.
So I feel. My wife and I've been together for a little over 12 years now, I think. Married for 6 of those, but we work together. So she's the CEO of the company, and it's not an empty title. Like she's a better CEO than me. I'm more of like a idea guy and have this shit that I try, and 99% of it doesn't work, but I find one thing, I'm like, okay, maybe this will work, and then I build it out, and I make it function, and then she comes in, she's like, you're fucking this all up. She's like, and then she builds out the systems, processes, infrastructure, applies people that, and then we're able to scale it. But there's times where like we have to be very clear on our roles and responsibilities within the company and our lives too. We'll have discussions and arguments sometimes where she's like, well, I think we should do this. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. And she's like, well, I'm the CEO. I'm like, look, I get it, but like, this is my role, and I own the company, and this is what the fuck we're doing. So get on board. But it's one of those things where like she's really good at like execution and the operations role, but like big picture thinking is not really her forte. And I'm not that I'm good at that, but I'm better at that than I am the operations point. And so we've had to kind of like figure out what those things are for us without stepping on each other's toes. But it's been tough, man. But there's also points where I got to look at her and be like, hey, babe, this is not your husband telling you this. Like, this is the owner of the company telling you this is the fucking direction that we're going. Let's make it happen, you know? So, but and thankfully she's a very cerebral person. She's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Pragmatic. So she gets it, but I could see how but she's a very rare personality type, especially for a woman. But
well, if you didn't have previously successful businesses, then I can understand a little bit of, you sure? But the fact is, you have had those and past experience of failures, the networking, like all those things that kind of go into the entities that you guys are going into that she might have not had. So therefore, your opinion is valuable. It's not just pulling shit out of your ass.
Well, she's been with me through successes and failures, and one of her favorite things is pointing out how I'm fucking up and doing things wrong. So, but that's great though, because we always dissect it. It's like, okay, well, I fucked up this relationship with this client or whatever. What could I have done better to facilitate this relationship and maybe keep it going, or pull a win-win out of this, rather than me being fired up because I was pissed off about some slight or something like that. So I do value her opinion on that, because she's right more often than she's wrong. But also we set those expectations for roles and responsibilities early on, and there's some leeway to it. Like we adjust them sometimes, but there's times where like I want to do something and she wants to do something different. I'm like, well, shit, this is within the CEO role. Like, I don't agree with it, but you're
you
the CEO. You run with it. Yeah, you run it. Exactly.
Don't fuck it up.
Yeah, it's not an empty title.
I just had a 2-week period where she was out of the house, because she runs the house, the whole everything. Like, everything's on her regiment, her time. And she was gone for 15 days, and that was a little rough.
The lights get shut off.
You're like, oh wow. So you have so much more respect for the counterpart in that equation when something like that happens, and when you just even a little bit of time away like that, you're like, wow, she does do a lot of stuff in the house.
Not some of my friends, but some people that I know are way above me in business, and they have these companies that they run that are very big, and they have a different type of relationship with their wife, where they're kind of like I don't want to say a trophy wife, but they're not involved. They're not like a partner. They're more of like an accessory type thing, and they don't really like contribute to a lot of things, I would say. And maybe that's they're way ahead of me in business, so they could do that. I don't know how the fuck they run anything, because like I can't imagine trying to run my life without a very like competent partner who can handle these things, who can handle the things that I suck at, like paperwork or getting these things organized. I'm fucking terrible at it. Like if it was just me, I'd still be like fucking jamming on Adobe Illustrator and like doing all this shit myself, and we wouldn't have anything that we have now without her. But the way we work together is it works very well. But man, it took us a long time to get there. It's a hard situation to navigate when you're building something with your spouse.
I think it's an independent woman. You know what I mean? That's what I love about like my wife, is that she's so independent that she can do. She actually doesn't need me at all. You know what I mean? Like she does everything. Like you were saying, how Liana takes care of the house. She takes care of the house. She takes care of all the bills and stuff like that. Me just going into a pantry and looking at all the stuff makes me appreciate my wife. You know what I mean? Like,
how do you do? I like mustard or ketchup? Mayonnaise.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Babe, where's the chips?
Yeah. Everything. I mean, I walk around my house and I'm just like, this is all her. I would have never thought of like buying that freaking item and setting it right there, or just stuff like that. It just makes me appreciate my wife. But along my journey with this Christianity stuff too, like I did a marriage study on how to be married biblically and not worldly. You know what I mean? And that changed my whole way of viewing marriage and life too.
Interesting. Fuck, no more anal. I'm so screwed.
I'll tell you what, man. The Bible says nothing about that. You can do whatever. As a matter of fact, when it comes to sexual intimacy, it's whatever you both agree on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Is what the Bible says. Not you just can't like freaking turn her over and freaking against her will, like put it. In But stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like I learned a lot about how to be married and how we're to treat our wives, you know what I mean? And applying that to our relationship, we've been together 16 years, and I mean, we're like madly in love, man. And we like rarely get into any kind of arguments. And when we do get into an argument, it ends up being like something stupid, And then, I got to call Joey and vent to him or something.
That's the funny part. He's like my brother in the sense we call and talk about, not bad about our wives.
Yeah.
But, and
Sometimes you need a sounding
well,
board,
you,
though.
you need that. You need that confidant where you can just be like, are we mutually having the same experiences on some stuff? But
Well, also the key factor in that I've learned the hard way in the past 6 months is you only need to have one confidant, right? Because if you start spreading that out, and you know this better than anybody, like the trust circle needs to be very, 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 very fucking small.
Yeah.
And there's been instances recently to where the trust circle has been expanded to people that didn't deserve our trust.
Yep.
And I've had to do a metric fuck ton of putting out fires, like maintaining reputation, maintaining relationships with clients, all because trust was given to the wrong people. And if those wrong people are listening, you can go fuck yourselves. But
They never think that they're the wrong person, though.
no, they never fucking do. And it's been actually the only stressor I've had recently in my life is trusting other people. And like you were talking about earlier, when you found Christ, you lost a lot of friends, but I bet that you don't really miss those friends. And also I bet that those friends aren't nearly as successful as you are or have what you have now. And the older I get, the more I realize, like, fuck you. I don't fucking need you. Like, get out of my way. But then they're just going to run, their ruse and claim it as arrogance or pretentiousness or, oh, you got a podcast and you got a voice. And it's like, yeah, what do you have? Yeah. Like, this is a very communal thing. And we're sitting here boasting about our spouses. But meanwhile, you're running your mouth about me behind my back. Mm-hmm. It's like, fucking hold my beer.
Well, people love to blame everybody else for their own, what are really their own failures.
I think it was Dirty or somebody else that we had on the podcast that said it better than anything. Is everybody wants to see you be successful until you're more successful than them.
Very true.
And that statement held true with me hard. Right? Like, tattoo artists. I'm sure there's plenty of them that were super successful that wanted to see you guys doing this. And then they saw you go on Ink Masters and like, oh, fuck that guy. He's not that good. And then they start critiquing your work. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, now the true colors shine.
The crab bucket mentality.
Yep.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, when I got off the show, I mean, some of the biggest haters were my closest friends.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But
now they're trying to be on it.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Right?
Where like, it's 18 seasons now, and it's like all these people that talk shit about it now have been on it, and you're just like, yeah, it's not as bad as you thought, right?
Yeah, exactly. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all only understand things at the limits of our own experience, and sometimes because I used to be very unforgiving in my judgment of those people. I'm like, whatever. But then now I've come to the realization that, man, everybody's on their own path. They're on their own trajectory. And sometimes, like, you're just ahead of somebody in learning a certain lesson, and they just haven't learned it yet. And you're like, well, fuck, man. Like, I know where they're coming from. They just haven't seen what I've seen yet. And a lot of times I've learned that now holding a little bit of grace for them and be like, hey, man, I'm not upset about it. Like, you'll figure it out. Yeah. And a couple years later, if they're introspective and they do like take some accountability and figure it out, they usually figure it out and they're like, fuck, man. And then they end up learning the same lesson that I learned. And sometimes you actually get the text back like, hey, man, like, I'm sorry. You were right. I just didn't see it at the time. It's very rare. Usually,
I was going to say, I don't think I've done enough psychedelics to get that out of me.
I had one of those real good one where I'd hired a kid in Florida to tattoo, and he was a ex-military kid, but my shop was the best shop in town, and he wasn't ready for my shop yet. Mm-hmm. And he took it, so I said, hey, dude, I'm going to get you a job. I'm going to put you down the street. You're going to learn some more. Come back to me. And he took it so fucking hard. He was just like, you're a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah.
Blaming you for his
and I'm like, dude, right? I got you the job. I'm trying to... helping you. And for 10, 15 years, I would go back to my hometown or go back to the Florida shop, and I'd go in the same building. And I'd walk up to him, and he would never talk to me. And I'd be sitting right to him like, dude, you going to say something? Nothing. And then fast forward to about 3-4 years ago, he actually came to Vegas, walked about 2 miles to my shop and came apologized.
Wow.
And he says, "You were right."
How old is he now?
I don't even know.
Well,
he's definitely older, but you know,
because I feel like that's
Yeah.
kind of that point.
That's a real
exactly,
thing.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what you're saying. Is like these guys grow up and they see that my intentions were never malice.
Right.
They were for him, and that's where a lot of times in this business, I think we get accused of that we're bigger headed or we're whatever else. But I'll take my shop as a fucking prime example. That I go to work every day so everybody else has a job, and they don't realize that.
Yeah.
They don't realize that the money that I contribute to my own business makes sure that they have a job. They don't say thank you. They don't say nothing. They just come in and they don't like me because I'm the boss.
Yeah.
And it's a very difficult situation to be in.
Yeah.
You know,
I bet.
and it's, you know, I don't even know where to go at sometimes, and that's kind of where I'm like, I'm at the end of my career, in a sense. I still want to tattoo like 2 or 3 days a week, but I'm just like, man, I can't deal with it a lot longer, you know, mentally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, like sometimes they just haven't learned those lessons yet. But I mean, usually they do. They normally, what I found is they normally do learn those lessons. It's just really rare when they reach back out and they're like, well, fuck, you were kind of right about that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It took a lot for that guy to come and walk that far and say that, you know.
But when
Yeah.
they do, it validates everything that you have done.
Yeah.
You know, I've
Yeah.
had in the past, and we talked about this on the previous episode with like past younger enlisted that I was in charge of, whether it be team leader or squad leader or whatever. And it's like 10 years later, reached out to me and like thanked me. And also, like, then you finally get a perspective on how you come off and like what are you, you know, like what's your profile? What are your, like, how are you perceived? And everybody always wants to know that, but we're too vain to ask, like, am I an asshole, or am I too strict, or am I too this, or am I too what? But you are who you are, and I wouldn't apologize for it. But I mean, I look at it the same way with my parents. You know, like I fucking hated them when I was a kid, and now I'm the first to apologize. I'm like, yo, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
My
dad,
whole
dad
mentality-
raised 4 kids, 4 boys. Like, oof.
My whole mentality too is, man, like if I see somebody that's doing good, and this is what I never understood with with my own brothers and sisters. If anybody came to me, if my brothers came to me, and or better yet, if I saw them being successful and having businesses and stuff, my personality, I would go to him and said, "What did you do? What did you do?
Right.
Because I want to do that."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And instead of, you
Teach
know,
me.
oh, you think you're all bad and this and that. You know, I've had one of my brothers call me up and say, you know, you forgot where you came from. You know, and I said, no, I think about it all the time, and that's what makes me work 10 times as
Yeah.
hard.
I'm
you
using
know?
where it came from to get to where I want to go.
Yeah. So even like going into a shop and me like mentoring like artists and stuff like that, you know, you would think that these artists that I'm mentoring, that they would see that, you know, hey, he owns 3 shops, he owns his own home, he owns toys, you know, he has a good life, you know what I mean? What do I have to do to get to where he's at? Instead, you know, everybody just wants to talk crap, you know what I mean? And one of the guys that left my shop was just like, hey, man, before I leave, I just want you to know, dude, that everybody talks crap about you when you're not here. And I'm like, dude, I want you to know that that's always been in a shop. You know what I mean? There's always somebody talking crap. But I told him, I said, but notice this. Who are they talking crap about? The guy who owns 3 shops, his own home and his cars and toys and stuff like that? I said, bro, if nobody's talking crap about you, then you're doing something wrong. Because there's always going to be haters, bro.
That's true, man.
dude,
I
I
found,
could not agree with that more.
100%, man.
I learned
And same.
I learned a lot when I went over to Buds and SQT as an instructor. And they say you don't really understand something until you teach it. And I was like, whatever. And then I was an instructor. I'm like, wow, that was so true, man. Because I thought I was a good shot. I was an okay shot, but you can be good at something, but not really understand why you're good until you have to explain it to somebody. And they're like, oh, how do you do this? I'm like, well, fuck, I don't know. I just do it, you know? And then you're like, well, fuck, okay, what do I do that's good on this? Here's how I use the trigger. Here's the grip. Here's the percentage. Here's where I place my hand. Here's all the things. Probably very similar to what you guys do.
Yeah,
in
with
your role.
machines, yeah.
Exactly.
It's very symbiotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but once you teach it, you realize, like, or at least that's what I realized, is like, oh, as I'm teaching it, I'm like, oh, fuck, that's what I do. I just didn't think about it because
Right.
I was too busy doing it. But once you articulate it to somebody else, it sticks in your mind, and then you think about it and you become better at that thing. Yeah, it's a weird thing about dissecting the process that makes you good at something to where you can teach it to somebody else, actually makes you better at the craft too.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. That's what wanted me. Well, that's why I wanted to go to the sniper schoolhouse in order to teach, because if you can articulate your skill set, then I feel like that's a certain level of mastery. It's almost like a different belt in BJJ, right? If you can articulate it, because being able to articulate it means you truly process it in your brain. And so for you guys to be mentors, I feel like that is a mastery, and it's something to be proud of.
Yeah. When people ask me how I tattoo, I say, I don't know. Every day's different. Every day's different. I tattoo this way one day, this way one day.
I tell my boys too, man, like, and I've told them this when they were younger, like, I've taken my boys to a prison because we lived in Chino. So I've taken them to Chino prison. I've taken them to Skid Row, and I've told them, like, see all these people here, they made bad choices in life. And I let them know, the choices you make in life are going to determine what your life's going to be like.
Exactly.
I took them to Skid Row and I said, even these people sitting here, they're still making bad choices because they're sitting here. You know what I mean? Doing nothing.
They're not doing anything.
Yeah. And I tell them too, because one thing that I've learned, like listening to motivational speakers and stuff like that, is the people you surround yourself with is what you're going to turn out to be. You know what I mean? So I chose to surround myself with successful people and stuff like that. And with that even being said, it's like even coming into business with Joey, like I've known Joey for a long time, and I know that Joey is, he's smart and he knows a lot of freaking people, man. You know what I mean? So going into business to me was a smart decision to go into business with him, because of that, so surround yourself with people that you want to be like, man,
I was listening to a great podcast with Rogan and Bert Kreischer. Earlier today actually, and he had a great quote, man, or great thought. I'm gonna butcher it, obviously, but it's basically like, if you surround yourself with great whites, people are gonna think you're a great white, and you're gonna eventually like get better at. You're gonna get bigger. You're gonna become this thing that you surround yourself with, because part of it is like if you're surround yourself with people that are doing better than you in whatever element. If you have an open and honest relationship, a good communication, be like, hey man, how are you doing this thing? This is like, I'm fucking this up. Can you help me with this? Or, hey man, you're really good at this. Can you help me with this? And so you can't help but be better at these things, unless you're just type of the person that's like completely unself-aware and like just like fuck everybody, I'm the best ever. Like,
that's how I treat a lot of my business stuff, is like that I'm not a social climber at all, but I always tend to surround myself with the guys that have succeeded, because you want to emulate that. You want to bring that into your circle and make that your circle as much as possible. And that's when you were saying it earlier too about you being the creative person and all this stuff. That's what I am. I'm the creative. I've done so many things that I can think about. I did 8 businesses in 10 years. Like I'm literally the entrepreneur, but I'm not the paper pusher. Yeah, and that's my difficulty, is that's where I've always been at, is I've never been the great business mind behind me. So I've tried to be around those guys. I've brought them into business. It's just never worked yet. And then
there's a great book. I hate to keep harping on books, but I think it is certain points in business. There's a lot of these lessons there because all businesses operate.
You should put an Amazon link in this.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We have royalties.
Yeah, it's called Rocket Fuel by Gino Wickman, and the basis of it is essentially there's 2 types of people that are at the helm of really big businesses, right? Or any successful business at any size. You've got the visionary, and then you've got what he calls the integrator, but I prefer to call that like the operator. So you got the visionary, then you've got the operator. So in my businesses, or my wife and I's businesses, because she's basically a co-founder. She's been with me through all the stuff that we have now. She's been with me through all of it. And I'm the guy who's like, we're going to do all this, we're going to do all this shit. And she's like, well, this ain't working, whatever. And then, but when it comes down to like, we're going to do this because we think this has the maximum, trajectory. She's like, cool, let's do this and this and this, systematize it, process it. Then we can apply people to it. She's the integrator. She's the operator, the ones who puts it together. But it's so hard to work outside your strength, especially as you get older, because you just don't have fucking give a shit to do it. Like, I only want to do the things that I enjoy these days. Like, the podcast is a great example of this. Like, I love doing this shit. Like, meeting you guys, having these conversations, like meeting dope people and just fucking having drinks, and like, this is what I want to be doing. Even when we're recording this, like, it's just a dope conversation. So if we can find a way to to build this into something that works functionally and properly as a business, that's where she comes in. And Nikki's the same way, and Nikki and Disney, I think they're basically like identical people, basically.
I'll take mine over yours. Yours.
She's a lot. That's true.
Yours would murder me. Mine's Canadian. That's the biggest difference, and doesn't have a horse hobby.
She's much nicer. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd hate to be with Sandy.
I'm glad we can all mutually admit
She's
this.
the best, like outside of my close family. That's family to me, you know that. And it's like, but man, I was like, oh, she's very strong. But that's you're a strong man. So it's like it's your equal.
Equal matches equal.
Well, yeah. I need that though, because if she wasn't as strong as she is, I would fucking steamroll her. I'd be like, we're doing this, but then if I got everything I wanted, my life would be totally fucked up. Our business would be all fucked up.
Yeah.
So I need her to be like, push back and be like, hey, this isn't going to work because of this XYZ. I'm like, well,
you need somebody to help you A/B test your good ideas.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that you're saying this, but you're totally fucking right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what makes us better.
There's times where she tries to get me fired up, and there's times where she does get me fired up, and then I'm the calm one. There's times where I have to calm her down, you know, and it's just like, hey, relax, you know, just calm down. You don't, you know,
Same.
because she's so strong-willed that, like, if she's pissed, she's pissed. You know what I mean? But
Latina?
yes, you know, and she'll let it like ruin her day. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm just like, no, you know, like, I get it, you're upset, but don't let it ruin your day, because not only is it ruining your day, but it's ruining my day because it's
Right.
ruining your day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then you're letting this asshole have power over your entire life. Like,
Yeah.
I have to say that to my wife a lot. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If it's outside of our world, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't.
Like, if it's not outside of our like 5 closest friends, it doesn't fucking matter.
Matt
at all.
Bissonette says it best, your 3-foot bubble.
Yeah.
If you're not within 3 feet, which is usually arm's length, and like things that I can control, then you can't worry about it. And I've only learned that kind of going into, you know, my late 30s. But my wife is one of the ones that like still needs to like kind of understand this. And to your point that you were talking about, where the previous point that I was talking about, these people kind of run their mouths that were brought too close, was a byproduct of her bringing them too close. And I was,
because she's Canadian. She's super nice.
I know. But the thing is, I've been doing this for a fucking long time. And I understand how maniacal people are. And I understand how untrustworthy people are. And so when this thing keeps on being brought in and you allow too much information out there, like, they're going to take any instance that they can get in order to like do this. And so when it comes to me being heated up, I will ask her opinion in order to kind of like help talk me off the shelf. But when it comes to strategy and the mentality of not only the city, but the industry that we work in, that is where I run the direction on this, because it's our reputation and you're brand new to this. And please, I beg of you, do not do this. She's like, no, it's fine. The fuck it ain't.
It's good partnership, man.
It's not.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea what you're walking into, and this is a shark's nest. Because you grew up in a perfect world. You literally did. My wife did. And I'm like, we don't live in one. Like, this city will eat you alive. And this is like a tame city compared to LA and New York City. And so, like, you need to stand tall. And we've earned our reputation, and the last thing we need is more people knowing anything about us that isn't worthwhile.
Isn't that crazy? You can't, like, because I'm a sharer. I love to fucking share shit. But man, sometimes when you're sharing stuff and you put it out there, then that's where all these other jealousy, like everything else comes with it. But I'm not sharing it to be malice. I'm just sharing it to be like, I want to, I'm happy, I'm proud. I want to like share something with you. But it's not like, I'm not putting it in your face. I'm not doing nothing. Like if I share something with him, I'm not expecting him to go, man, fuck that guy.
Yep.
Like, it's because he's my
Yeah.
brother and I want to share it. And like, that's just like, and he shares shit with me. Like, it's such a crazy world when you can't do that with other humans, and all this other shit happens just because.
Fucking exactly. And
You
that
know?
is so much of what I'm dealing with right now. Like, even family members are like, oh, Nick's just boasting. I'm like, no, I'm sharing with you because I'm asking. Like, I'm asking without asking. And then also, like, in the friend circle, like, we're sharing things because we feel like we have a mutual understanding. But now you just want to take it as ammo and then just lock and load that Ma
Was that a
Deuce,
50
and
cal?
just now you want to shoot it at everybody. And like, and now I'm the fodder, you know, now I'm the reciprocating end of this because we share too much. And like, holy fuck, dude, have I learned, like, all right, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you. Like, all of this, it's so bad, man. It's so bad.
I don't mean to bring up the Bible again, but
No,
there's a verse in there that's always talks about. It says, if your left arm causes you to sin, cut it off. If your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. You know, the Bible is not literally telling you to do that,
Right.
but what it's saying is that if there's something in your life that's causing you to be the person that you don't want to be, get rid of it. Whether it's your freaking family, whether it's, you know, co-worker or whatever, you know, whatever it may be, get rid of it. You know, don't let it be in your life.
And
You
I'm
know
good
what
at that,
saying?
but my wife isn't.
Well, I think
Yeah.
a lot of people have, like, we have a lot more control over our lives than we think we do. But people think, like, oh, they're family. Like, what the fuck does that mean? They have to be in your life because you're family? Like, it's not a rule. Like,
No.
you're not gonna get arrested for not talking to your fucking family. Like, you don't have to do these things.
Yeah.
You actually have a lot more control and autonomy over what you spend your time doing and the things that you do in your life than you think. We have all these expectations from whatever we grew up with. We're like, you have to do this, you have to do that. When it really comes down to it, you don't have to do a whole lot. Like, we could just do this podcast on G-strings if we wanted to, you know.
There's the
Kinda
gay
weird.
shit. I told you Navy was like going to go.
What was Navy? Sorry.
That's right, Kevin's right here. You're
G-strings.
fine.
He wants to do G-strings, tattoos
But
and
you
G-strings.
don't even have to wear clothes a lot of times.
Right.
You can go walk to 7-Eleven in a G-string if you want to. It's weird.
Yeah.
But when it really comes down to it, what you have to do, it's actually a very small amount of things you really have to do.
My brother called me up one time and he was like, you know, you forgot that family comes first.
Says
And I
who?
said, no, you're 100% right. Family does come first. My wife and my kids, that's my family.
Yep.
You know,
Family's what you
not
make
you
it.
guys, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's my wife and my family. They come first. Man.
Couldn't agree more.
I think a lot of people would be much happier in their lives and with way less drama and stress if they took that approach to it and they kind of audited those things and were like, well, who in my life? Like, I didn't talk to my dad. I didn't grow up with my dad. I didn't really meet him as an adult until I was like 15. And then went and lived with him for a little bit. And then he moved down to San Clemente, which is only like, you know, an hour or so from here. And he's a cool guy. He's a great dude, you know. It wasn't much of a dad growing up, but whatever. He was 20 when I was born. I didn't really expect a whole lot of him. But I didn't talk to him for like 5 years as an adult. When I was like 30, I think it was like 31. And he was just doing some shit that it wasn't bad. It was just like, I just realized I'm not getting a lot out of this relationship. Like, this isn't a positive relationship for me. He's just kind of like boasting about his own shit. And I'm not learning a lot. It's not adding into my life. So I just didn't talk to him for like 4 years, I think. And then I met Disney and she's like, tell me about your family. I was like, oh, my dad lives in San Clemente. Like, do you talk with him? I'm like, no. She's like, well, that's kind of weird. I'm like, well, I don't know. Is it? And then I went up there and reconnect with him only because my wife had never met him. Or my girlfriend at the time had never met him. I was like,
Same.
wow. Yeah, it's just kind of weird, man. And it's not like he's a bad guy. He's a great dude, you know. It wasn't adding positive to my life. And I'm like, well, I don't feel the obligation to fucking try to make the effort to something that's not moving my life in a positive direction.
Yeah.
We have a really good relationship now. It's super cool. But at the time, it was like, he just had he's kind of immature. So he had a lot of lessons to learn. And now his wife, speaking of partnerships, his wife is like a fucking saint dealing with him. He's so much better now. Like, he's a good dad. He's a good husband. Like, he's a much cooler fucking dude now. Yeah, it's been cool to see his trajectory change too. Yeah, we'll take a little break.
Yeah, let's take a little break. We'll reset.
He did so well for the company that the guy Gus actually, like, I don't know if whatever he did, but he's part owner in the Harley dealership now because he blew him up so much.
Wow,
Their rides
cool.
were like 70 people. Now there's 700 people.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's pretty. Like he does really
Where's
well.
he based out of? Michigan?
Destin, Florida.
Destin, Florida?
Yeah, but he was doing it. So I think Ford brought him up there to do something, and that's when he met Kenny at some event. And then he was just like, I met this guy. You got to meet him. And now we've met Kenny. Like it's like you could see why he's.
Dude, Kenny's such a great guy.
So charismatic, and like I said, his video got. Right now is almost 15 million just on Instagram, and he was getting interviewed there almost nightly. Amanda's texting me, "Oh my God, we're getting this and we're getting that." He got 90,000 followers from Instagram alone, just from the video.
Jeez,
Multiple
you
sources.
Give me some insight as a like with regards to what I need to do with like all the footage I shot, because I'm still waiting on all the Navy PAO stuff.
Yeah,
because we toured. I don't know, a naval ship. I'm not sure like what class or whatever. With this 84-year-old guy. This is actually the same day that I text you. All right, remember when we were on the deck of the ship and kind of giving us a tour and telling us not to take photos? Did you see like when the one like MP like asked me to go over there, or like somebody like fetched me and I went in and like I was taking a photo with like the head security guy that was in like full kit? Do you remember that? It was on the bow of the boat. But yeah, so I'm on the bow of the boat, and Kenny, patriotic Kenny, was like the famous one. I mean, he has 15 million followers like across all platforms. And then one of the Navy guys comes over and he's like, "Hey, whatever you guys call him in the Navy, like the police guy wants to see you."
Oh, MP, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay,
Shore Patrol.
Yeah, and so I walk over and he's like, "Are you Nick Betts?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Liberty risk, right?" And I was like,
Nice.
"Yeah." He was like, "Holy fuck, dude, I knew it was fucking you." And I'm like, he was like the senior guy there, and he's like, "Dude, I told you, dude, this guy's fucking great." And he just like went off. He's like, "Can I get a photo with you?" And I'm like, "Holy fuck,
that's awesome."
And then meanwhile, like everyone over there is like we're doing a tour with Kenny, and I'm like off in the background, hands in my pocket, so like checking my phone, and yeah, wanted a photo with me, and sorry, homie, I don't know your name, but you're probably listening to this. But yeah, dude, thanks for reaching out while we're on the bow of the boat.
It's been really cool to see like these stories that we're sharing, like how that intersects with other people's lives, and like 20 years ago I never give a shit about Instagram followers, all this shit, whatever. I just want to do my job and like be the best team guy I can be. But now I'm like, man, there's so much more to life, so much other shit, so much more like connection and community, and just it's so much more to life than just this one-dimensional fucking thing that we used to be,
Yeah, this spider web I'm trying to put out there too. Like that was the whole thing with Kenny, with Justin. Like as soon as and with Chris from Regiment. So I think it was one of the first ones where I'm like, oh, we have to like make this. As soon as Veteran Inc. reached out, I'm like going, how can I intersect everything that I have on my plate?
You think the same way I do.
Yeah, and it was almost mutual. Like as soon as I say, "Hey, this," then this other door would open up, and then this other door would open up, and that's where we're at. Like you're asking me to go tattoo 28 guys, and in a couple weeks, you know what I mean? And it's like, and I'm thinking about how can I make that even better for you,
right?
Not for myself, but that's when I was like asking for Justin. I said, bring Justin on board because it's going to help everybody go up because of where he's at.
I think that's how God
Kenny,
lets you know you're on the right path, and like doors open up in the right direction for you.
That is literally my life, is because I have such a large network of just incredible people that when somebody comes to me with a problem, I can almost instantly solve it. But it's not me solving it. It's me solving it by introducing you to the right people that can solve it. And being a former director in marketing or creative, now I know how to articulate this to every single person in order to actually almost like organize all this.
That's how I feel in the apparel world.
Even if it's for no benefit of my own, it's just mutually benefiting and like helping other people. And like you four are going to like do this, and like I can even give you the roadmap in order to do said thing.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I want to do with Veteran Inc. is because of their program and what they were trying to do for veterans. I'm like going, and then Chris with Regiment as far as the suicide awareness for veterans, and like how can I combine all this stuff together to get it out there as much as possible, and then Kenny with the scooters for veterans. Like it's like, you name it, it's all charity driven stuff, but it supports everybody, you know, in different things. So.
Yep.
Community and connection.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you brought up a great point on the break. Let's slip into that.
So something we've really got intrinsic on this, and I feel like there's a lot of life lessons and a lot of the messages that Ryan and Kevin and I get on a consistent basis is about how the podcast has kind of, changed the thought process or really helped them. However, a large part of our cast is also like just the most insane, like campfire fucking stories.
A collection of crazy stories
that we all have. And I was, I brought up the alien one, and this alien one, like every time I would open up my Instagram, like I almost get an anxiety because I'm like, what the fuck? Like 65 DMs within 5 hours and all these comments and things like that. So what I really want to do, you guys have lived two very different but two impeccable lives. You have stories. And also, I don't know how fucking old you were, Joey.
That's not old. Look at it. It's great.
I know, right? Hands down, especially that pompadour. I mean, fuck, the both of you. Actually, you...
Dude, that's like, I don't know how long it takes me to do that shit, but it's
like 5 minutes.
I do, when I do the Zoom calls with him,
so
I'm
similar
like...
to my dad.
I do the Zoom calls, I'm like,
better
God
looking.
damn, dude, you're like, look at that shit in the Zoom calls.
Good hair's a flex, bro.
Yeah.
So, Ceeze, we're going to start with you, man. Like, what's some of the stories that just absolutely have like blown you away, whether it be like garage beers or a tattoo session or like traveling or
It could also, you guys have been in the industry for 50 plus years combined. It could be a story that you've heard that you're like, I don't know if this is true or not, but like, holy shit, somebody told me this is one time. It's fucking
Well, the
nuts.
poop rock story, I guess. We'll have to find a picture. I will send a picture to you.
yeah, please do.
I will.
It
And you'll
goes a
see an
long
old
way
guy
as
on
far
the
as I
fucking
wanted to be.
bed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lady that was getting tattooed in my studio, and she was telling us a story about her friend who met this guy on Tinder, and they hit it off, and then they wanted to actually meet. So she hit up some of her friends and was just like, hey, I'm going to finally meet this guy that I've been talking to on Tinder, and you guys should just come with me just in case it doesn't work out, blah, blah,
support
blah.
and safety, yeah.
So they end up going to this bar or this club or whatnot, and they walk in, and she sees the guy at the bar. So she tells her friends, hey, I'll meet up with you guys later. He's over there. I'm going to talk with him. Anyways, she ends up talking to the guy, and they hit it off. He's a great guy, blah, blah, blah. So he invites her back over to his house for a nightcap. And she was just like, all right, cool, So she goes to tell her friends, like, hey, he's super cool. We totally hit it off. We're going to head back to his house for a nightcap. I'll catch up with you girls
Put
later.
your tag in my pocket.
But of course, the good friends that she has are just like, yeah, cool, go with this guy that you don't know. So they end up jumping in an Uber, and they start heading over to his house. Well, as they start heading over, her stomach starts gurgling. And she was just like, oh, my gosh, you got to be kidding me, So, yeah, her stomach just starts killing, and just bubbling and everything.
The Jewish
right?
belly?
No, she ordered a Frito pie.
Oh, my God.
All of a
Frito
sudden,
pie
it got
sounds
so bad, dude, that she freaking shits herself, dude.
In the Uber?
In the Uber.
Oh, no.
And then just starts crying, dude.
Oh, yeah, they do that.
Yeah, she just starts crying. So
I would too.
the guy's like, don't worry about it. Like, we're human. Accidents happen.
What a joke.
The Uber driver's like, fuck no.
And the guy ordered it.
Yeah.
Dude, that's Uber. $400.
Uber, stop right here. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's all, we're close to my house anyways. Don't worry about it. You can always just jump in the shower. We'll grab your clothes. We'll throw them in the wash. It's not a big deal. So she was just like, thank you so much, for being understanding. Gets to the house, jumps in the shower. The guy walks in, knocks on the door, walks into the restroom, and says, "Hey, you know, like, I'll grab your clothes. I'll throw them in the wash. Here's a robe. You know, when you get out." She's like, "Oh, thank you so much." Blah blah blah. Super nice, right?
Yeah.
So she gets out of the shower, throws a robe on, and comes out of the restroom. She can't find this guy, dude. She's looking all over. She can't find him. All of a sudden, she walks into his bedroom, and the guy's sitting on his bed eating her shit, dude.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. What? So she runs out. She immediately just runs out of the house, dude.
Wait, no pants on, nothing? Just
No, she has a robe. She has a robe. So she runs out of the house and calls the cops, calls 911, right?
Calls the cops. This
Yeah.
guy's eating shit out of my underwear.
Yeah.
I shit my
Man,
pants.
why is there shit in your underwear? It's always.
Yeah. So she calls the cops and everything, you know, and they're like, "Man, there's nothing we can do." You know what I mean? Like, he didn't commit a crime. You know what I
illegal
mean?
to eat shit. It's weird
Yeah.
as fuck. But
So they
How was he eating the shit, sir?
so they told her, you know, that there's nothing that they can do, you know, but just so that you know, this is the 5th call we got this week.
About
For
him?
the same
So
guy?
apparently that's what he does, dude. He meets chicks on Tinder.
He
dude.
ex-lax them?
He ex-lax them in their drink,
I know
and
you're
then
so-
freaking and then takes them to his pad, dude.
People,
Yeah.
see, that's what I mean. Like foot fetish. I'm like, it's kind of weird, but whatever. Eating shit. I'm like, bro, that cannot be enjoyable. Like, what happened in your life where this is like a thing where you're like, oh,
I practice my breath hold picking up my own dog shit. Like,
like, how do you find that sexy?
oh my God.
Yeah.
That actually happened to one of his bud students.
Yeah,
I feel like you told it so long ago on the cast that like now it's still relevant.
I don't know if I even ever told the story because I've been waiting for a buddy of mine to come on. So the guy who has the actual story will never come on because it happened to him. But the guy who is like really good friends with him is gonna come on. I feel like I should wait to tell that story.
You can wait.
It's kind of long and it'll sidetrack it.
Yeah,
But it's
you can wait.
man, it's a like Uno Reverso card of that. But fuck, dude, it's so crazy. People
I would
into
be
weird
so
shit.
upset if somebody fucking X-lax me. Like that's a pure panic moment. And also, like I
I feel like you
turn.
could just ask, like, "Hey, I'm into weird shit. Can you shit in this ice cream cone for me?" Like,
That's not gonna go over well. with anyone.
no, it's not. But I mean,
First
like,
date.
You're like poop raping somebody. That's weird, bro.
I've been pooped on before, like put my thing in another thing, and then had to like
It happens.
in the shower. Like it's okay, but also you're not gonna find me in the corner like like licking this shit like a cat.
God. Yeah, that's a weird. That's a wild one, man. Holy
Joey, I don't
shit.
think you could.
I was going to say, I can't follow that. I can't follow that. Random fucking poop eating stories. No.
These
Mine,
stories,
mine was
dude.
more tattoo based, but yeah, it's not even. Mine was more like the college prank when I was at Starlight in Mandalay Bay and Clean Rock won. I wasn't going to say any names, but fuck it. Clean Rock won, which is he was on the show also, and these frat guys came in and the guy lost a bet and he had to get a tattoo, and his buddies picked a mermaid with butterfly wings to go on his back. And I mean big, like it was like this fucking
wow.
big. And he's like, oh, look at this. And he had drawn a dick inside of the shape of the butterfly wing. So it's like part of the ornament. And I mean, he's like probably 2-3 hours in the tattoo and the guy's all stretched out, like leaning over the thing. And his buddies weren't watching at the time. And they came in and they're all like, oh my God, this is so funny. And then all of a sudden they go, holy shit, there's a dick inside of the shape of the wings. And Clean was like going, what are you talking about? Wait, oh my God, it does look kind of like a dick. But he actually takes and he goes, oh, I'll fix it. And then because it was just like a normal shape like that. So then he takes and makes
Add some veins.
the head
to it.
of the dick. He makes the head of the dick even more pronounced. And I'm like going, and then the guy goes, oh yeah, you fixed it. I'm like, oh no, it looks worse. So, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I got tons of those where it's like random people getting tattoos that are so fucking weird.
You know what I
that
think
you're
would-
like, why would a lady get a tattoo? It was a cop and it was a picture of his wife in lingerie with the dog. So you're like, okay, what was that one about?
Petting it or like other?
Well, just kind of
position?
like no positions, but just kind of weird.
Just a German Shepherd and a chicken and
in her lingerie, kind of with the
Okay.
dog on her side. Another one was a lady came in, and this is that we were kind of policing the tattoos at the time because some of the guys were just average artists that weren't that good. So we were like, every tattoo we had to take a picture of, and for the owner, and he was doing what was it? This lady comes in, she goes, I want to get a tattoo on my butt, and it was like of like a mermaid lady on the side of a horse, but she goes, I really want the horse's cock to be big. And we were like going, what?
Is this
What?
Queen
And,
Elizabeth?
and I was like going, okay, what? And I wasn't doing the tattoo, but I was like right there because I was like, this is so, like very interesting to look at.
Yeah.
And then like literally, he comes out and shows the drawing. She goes, no. I want the horse's cock to touch the ground.
Whoa.
So she got a fucking
Fifth leg.
tattoo on her butt of this horse with a fucking cock that was as long as the leg. And you're just like, what are the people into to
Yeah.
get these tattoos? Like it's like I never judge people like, what's the craziest one you've ever done? I'm like going, dude, there's
the sky's the limit.
yeah.
You guys ever had to do one like straight up, like either like nipple, tater hole, or like vagina?
I've sent my guys to the butthole ones. Like I've had people in like it was in Florida. They called up and said, "We're really famous in town, or we can't come down to your shop. Can you send somebody there? What do you want? Oh, I want a starfish next to my butthole.
I was about to ask, what do you
Yeah.
get in your butthole? Like a
Yeah,
like
a little starfish.
snake
Yeah.
mouth or
I've seen some
something?
good
Or-
ones.
Yeah, but I was like, oh yeah, like the big old
Starfish.
octopus coming out.
I've seen that one.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, but like so I sent somebody there, charged $1,000, but then within 2 weeks they called and said, okay, we thought we got overcharged. Could you charge us less? But my boyfriend wants it. I said, fuck no.
Yeah.
The guys,
no.
Matching octopus
but
butthole
tattoos.
tattoos.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
it's
The
I don't know.
vaginal tattoos.
Yeah, I've done plenty, but my wife could watch this. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
It's all good.
back in the single
I
days.
mean, you can say it's
No, yeah, we'll
It's,
keep it relatively.
It's definitely.
I
I
think
did
the-
one on TV where it was like I did boxing gloves on the girl's crotch, and it said "hit it like a champ." But the funny part was, is I said, "So do you like rough sex?" And she goes, "What are you talking?" Like she was offended that I fucking asked her, "You like rough sex?" I said, "Well, you're getting a tattoo that says hit it like a champ. Like, do you not understand what that
understand what it
means?"
meant?
I don't know. I was just kind of
Wow.
like befuddled at the fucking whole.
I
Like,
think
what do
the
you mean?
best one I ever saw is like you ever see kind of like one of them like puffy vaginas, but it was Homer Simpson's like mouth, and then it had like Homer Simpson on the other side
I think
of
that
it.
was Photoshop. I've seen that. I think that was
No,
Photoshop.
I don't know,
That was a
dude.
tattoo?
I feel like this is pretty early. I don't know, but like using Homer Simpson's mouth as like a good puffy vagina, like checked out.
Oh god,
it looked good.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That was a perfect fit, though.
It was a perfect
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
This
know
chick
some of
came
the-
into the shop, dude, and she had just got out of a relationship. She was Mormon apparently, and then just got out of a relationship, and she couldn't get tattooed while she was married. So now she's out, and she wants to get her very first tattoo. So one of my artists is looking for somebody to tattoo at the convention. So this chick comes into the shop and says, "Hey, I want to make an appointment with the artist for the convention." So my artist goes up to her and says, "Well, what do you want to get?" And she says, "I want to get my whole vagina tattooed." And then she was like,
First
"Well, what do you
one,
want?"
huh?
Yeah.
Bold.
And she wanted to get like a bunch of flowers that are just like all over her vagina. She said, "Are you sure you want to do it at the convention? You don't want to do it here?" And she said, "No, I want to do it at the convention." So sure enough, the day that she showed up, I had brought one of those partition walls.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, "Hey, I brought one of these walls if you want to cover it up and stuff." And she's just
She
like,
didn't
"No,
want it.
I'm
She wanted
fine."
to be free.
The reason she chose
Yeah.
that location.
She's important now.
Probably.
And she sat on the bed, spread eagle and freaking got tattooed. No,
She's probably working through some
I have
issues.
I have tattooed my wife probably 75% of her body, and I had tattooed on top right there. And my wife said that and she has a high pain tolerance, but she said that right there was the worst pain she's
I
felt
believe it.
out of all the tattoos that she has. Right,
Dang.
bro, this chick laid there like she was getting massaged. Yeah,
Right.
and that was her first freaking tattoo for
No
6
way.
hours. For 6 hours.
6 hours.
Yeah.
Hammering it.
Like
Hit it like a champ.
Hit it like a champ.
Yeah.
And that's what the old school was.
Just, you gotta Google like pictures of like people at conventions. That's weird. That's weird you say it because there's a lot of fetish style tattoos done at conventions where I've
She
seen
didn't care, dude.
buttholes getting tattooed at shows where they're up on the fucking thing and you're just like.
She came back the next day, and I was like, I told my artist, I said, "Hey, your girl's back," and she's like, "Damn, what does she want now? Her butthole, you know?" So
Show
she
shit.
hits her up, and she's just like, what's going on, you know?" And she's like, "Oh, nothing. I came to enter it in the contest."
Oh,
Dude, so she
nice.
entered in the small color contest, dude. So she comes up to me and she was just like, "Hey, so how does this contest work?" And I said, "All right, well, this is what's going to happen. They're going to call out for anybody who enters small color, get in line. So you're going to get in line, and by the stage there." I said, "Then they're going to call your name. When they call your name, you're going to step up on the stage. There's going to be 3 judges. You're going to show the 3 judges your tattoo. After you do that, they're going to ask you to turn around, and then you got to show the audience your tattoo. Meanwhile, there's going to be a camera guy there that's going to be filming it, and it's going to be on these 2 big screen TVs that are on the side of the stage."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, that sounds cool."
She's definitely in the porn now.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
They call her name. She gets up on the stage and goes straight to the audience, dude. She didn't even go to the judges, dude.
Dang. She's definitely a stripper now, for sure.
I got this tattoo I need to show you guys. And meanwhile, keep talking.
That's wild.
But there was a girl at my bachelor party,
Oh, yeah.
and
I don't know what he wanted.
Speaking of butt tattoos.
it's me and my best man, and we're in the hot tub.
Wait a
And
minute. Wait a
Is this
minute.
tattoo story?
Hold on, dude.
It is. And so we're in the hot tub,
I think I have it, too. Let me try to look. See if I can
and there was a good guy, a friend of mine, also a gamer, former Green Beret, and he lives in Scottsdale, and we rented out this mansion, and I mean a motherfucking mansion. And so these girls come over, there's 4 of them, and he knows them apparently because he was doing private security for OnlyFans girls. And so he brings over these girls, and me and my best man are in the hot tub, and she is getting out all sexy, and I look over, I'm like, what the fuck? And so she had this tattoo on
Her upper butt crack.
right above her butt crack.
It says boof here.
It says boof here.
You show that to the camera? I can send it to Dakota, too. That's hilarious.
And are you two aware of boofing is?
We already
No,
talked about
I figured you're too old for that. So boofing, well, we kind of did, yeah. So it's where you would take a straw, spread open an anus, put said straw in anus, and blow whatever narcotic of your choice inside.
I thought boofing was anything if you put it in there.
Technically, but I feel like the modern day, I guess, is...
I'm not aware of the technicalities of boofing.
I mean, one of them I think is like a... What do they call it? Where you're just like...
What do we get ourselves into?
Suppository.
Yeah, suppository. Yeah, this was just like... It's like a blowgun.
Dude, I mean, I get, being into weird stuff. Cool, whatever. But, like, to get it tattooed on you, like, boof here,
Right, yeah.
I'm like, dude, and then this chick is probably going to get married at some point and have a conversation with future husband. Like,
She is never getting married. I mean, you should have met her. Yeah, it is an absolute nightmare. So, I mean, oh God, yeah. I'm going to spare you guys for this podcast.
Some
We've already talked
shenanigans.
about it on the previous one, but the level that people will go to for various tattoos. Have you guys ever done eyeballs?
No, that's different. That's
You're actually injecting.
It's an injection.
Yeah, it's not really tattooing
Oh, really?
eyeball. Yeah, you're just injecting a fluid in there.
And then just kind of like spreads.
yeah,
yeah.
It's not the same. I've done eyelids. I've done most of the body. No wieners. No wiener stencils. You done one?
No, dude.
Exactly.
That's a question. Okay, all right. So that's a tattoo artist with a dong.
I have no idea how it works.
You got to pull it out because, like, now
I've never
being a
asked.
graphic
Probably
designer,
has to be erected.
You're talking about kerning, right? And kerning is the space between the letters.
When do you want it to look good?
Yeah, it's like
Right.
at what level is this, going to look legit? And this also kind of like transfers over to, the front butt for girls, where it's like, is a tattoo meant as you're standing, or is it meant as you're like spread open? Like, you know what I mean? Because you guys are all about placement, right? Like, you can't just put a tattoo anywhere you want. It has to kind of fit a thigh or a calf or an arm or a bicep, like whatever that may be. On a body part, like, you have to forecast what this is going to look like.
There's a funny joke on this. You guys have probably heard it, but it's where there's this guy on vacation in Jamaica, and he decides he's going to fucking, his first tattoo. So he goes out and he's like, I'm going to get fucking, his wife's name, Wendy, tattooed on his dick, right? It says Wendy on his dick. He's like, fuck yeah. It's cool, right? So he goes, later on, they're still on vacation with his wife. He goes to the bathroom. He's going to the bathroom. This Jamaican dude comes up and he looks over and says, he reads Wendy on his dick. He's like, bro, you got the same tattoo on your dick? It says Wendy. He's like, no, man. It says, welcome to Jamaica. Have a nice day. So you got to choose your medium, I guess.
Yeah. So Joey, being down in Florida, there's everybody knows Florida man, Florida type of people. What types of experiences did you have with Florida people and kind of just getting in?
Just getting into the industry? Well,
because I'm sure, I've taken a lot of photos of a lot of,
this is, I'm married now. Let's just say LA, like lower Alabama, there was always Alabama, Georgia, that whole area was the tourist spot for people to come to. So there was tons and tons of tourists coming down there, and that's why I liked working down there. But yeah, it was like a lot of trouble. Like it was, especially the bars there were open till 3 a.m.
Oh shit!
Actually,
right.
you were probably down there during the whole. What was that spring break? Kind of like ratchet.
When is it?
Well, Panama
ratchet?
City was ratchet.
Triple X series, like the whole guy that ended up getting.
Oh, the Bangs was it?
Like Bang Bros.
Yeah,
whatever.
I know what you're talking about.
The salmon guy, Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah, Girls Gone Wild. With like spring break in Florida, MTV would always be down there. Like, did you ever have like overflow with that?
Not too much. It was a huge tourist time, and there was constantly like that's all it was a party town for years.
Those tattoos, or was it just like names or like colleges?
Yeah, I was in the military at the time, so it was literally like hanging out with the PJs and CCT combat rescue guys or controllers, and like literally just being out till 6 a.m.
Yeah,
going outside the bar when it's ass crack of dawn.
Were all the dongs you tattooed military guys?
All the dongs.
He didn't tattoo any.
I didn't do it. No.
I thought you said you did.
No. I did the green feet on the butts. That's about it. That's the only.
That's fine. That's acceptable.
I could handle that. As soon as it's front nudity, I'm like, no, I don't need that. I don't need to get paid for that.
No, the only thing that I did a lot of was like the inside of the lip.
Yeah.
But that, the one we talk with, but that's about it. You know what I mean? Like
the one we.
Have you ever done like the lips on the inside? I've only done I've done fucking all around it, but not.
I did do a Winnie the Pooh holding some honey like right on the side.
That's creative. That's creative. Lonnie
Full color.
Yeah. Always waiting for Eeyore.
Oh bother.
It's always weird when you're doing those type of tattoos, and then they have. Like the one I did was on a girl, and she had two of her friends, two dudes with her. And I'm all down in there, and I'm just like, is this like a fucking amusement?
Seen it, yeah.
Amusement time, or what are we doing here?
Do you guys ever like refuse a tattoo? We're just like, bro, we're not doing this.
Yeah, it's more like he's saying, like you're trying to give them the best you can give in the sense of what the design is, but then some of their ideas just doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. I want to get this for my family. I want Winnie the Pooh with the book underneath the tree. But on the bottom of that, I want the roots to be tearing at my skin and And I'm just like going, how did that go together? So you're saying
Kinda
your
morbid,
family
yeah.
is tearing you apart? Like, it just, things like that you have to kind of manipulate and try and move
Kinda
to
help
where
him
it's
work
not.
through it.
But he never got tattooed from me, but it's still, you're just like, no, dude, I'm not doing any fucking Swazis or anything. Not knowing what this boots on the throat meant, I did boots on the throat before.
What does that mean?
Well, it's like a white power shit.
is it?
You know, like Doc Martens on the fucking throat.
Actually, that was
didn't know that.
how many times you've been asked to do swastikas?
That was it. It was more like I didn't even know that that's what it was in a sense. I never done a swastika, but I didn't know what the boots meant.
Yeah.
And then like
Actually,
a week
I don't know
later,
that
they
I
were
did
like,
either.
I didn't know until just now.
It was supposed
Yeah.
to be kind of like that. Like I don't know specifically.
Like American History X vibes.
Yeah. So
I don't do gang related profanity or demonic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't tattoo any of that. I always just give them to another artist.
No profanity.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What if it's in Latin? I've got drink, fight, fuck tattooed on me, but it's in Latin because I'm a classy guy. So.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really tattoo faces anymore either. You know, like back in the day I did, of course, you know, but now like when somebody comes into my shop, they're just like, oh, I want to get some writing right here, or like I had this guy that wanted to get like some writing on his above his eyebrow,
Peckerwood.
and then he wanted to get it above his lip,
Like a mustache.
and then his chin. I told him no, man. And then he walked out, and everybody's like, "Whoa, what do you want?" And I said, "Oh, he wanted me to help him look stupid," and I told him no.
I'll not be a part of this.
I was listening to one of you guys' podcast, and this is for my brother's passed, but you guys were talking about porn names. And you were bringing up some really funny shit, but I'll tell you, his porn name was Duncan Wood. So, this is my brother Jeremy, but I just wanted to say that. I was listening to that, and I'm going, oh, I gotta say
Duncan
that.
Wood. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That is a great.
Yeah.
That's a tasteful one too.
Yeah.
That's not even like just blatantly obvious and
Yeah.
kind of like, ooh.
Yeah.
Dude, we had a guy, the team, great fucking team guy. Hope he doesn't mind me telling his name, but such a wasted porn name. His name was Brock Richter. I'm like, bro, that's the fucking most gangster fucking badass name ever. He was a badass dude, but I'm like, man, if you're a porn guy, what's your name? Brock Richter.
Like a Richter scale.
Gee, dude.
I'm going to rock your world with the earthquake.
Beat it up. Oh, man.
What else you guys got? Anything?
I would say if we could talk about, who have you tattooed that's famous? Anybody like?
Oh yeah. I mean, you've been in Vegas.
That means he just wants to talk about
I know,
himself.
right?
Oh, God damn it, you're right. I'm just going to put it to you first. I put it to you first. So I was being nice. I was like, who do you?
I've only tattooed a couple, like,
You tattooed basketball players?
yeah,
Like, you
a
tattoo
couple
guys?
players from Atlanta Hawks, the assistant coach, some PT guys from there.
What are your thoughts on those guys getting like
Trash.
No, like going under full anesthesia and getting like
It's dangerous.
It's
man.
dangerous,
It's
man.
dangerous. Like, 'cause it's anesthesia, and you know, there's already been somebody that passed away from it.
Really?
So yeah, it's.
Not only that, but
I've
they
known
always
guys that,
show.
like, the guy said, "Oh man, I almost died." I'm like, going, "Why would you go back?"
Yeah.
You know.
Not only that, but they always show like the tattoo and stuff. But dude, one thing they don't show is the aftermath, dude. Like, can you imagine when that guy wakes up? He's
a lot
gonna
of
wake
ink.
up like, or actually when the anesthetic goes away, that's gonna be like he just walked out of a fire, dude. Like
Yeah.
3rd-degree burns.
Especially if you're doing a full back piece.
Well, guys are doing like multiple artists
Yeah.
working at the same time, like a full back piece or a full leg piece, one sitting. Fucking crazy, man. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit too old school or whatever, but I'm like, I kind of wish tattoos hurt more so less people would have them. You know what I mean? I think it's kind of a bitch. Like, you got to earn it, you know? I feel like going
Yeah,
under
you do.
anesthesia and doing all this shit, I'm like, dude, you're kind of cheating. You know?
Yeah, I don't mind the like we use the lidocaine soap a little bit, but it only works after you get started. So like 3 hours in, you put
And
some
it doesn't
foam on
really,
there.
like, I mean,
Yeah, it's
it-
not like it numbs it.
Yeah, it calms the pain. It'll
Yeah.
bring it from like a 10 to like a 5, but
Yeah.
but it doesn't like completely numb it. I don't use numbing freaking cream at all.
You don't use the nothing foam soap?
Yeah, I use
fine.
use that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is like it doesn't like numb it completely.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Versus like the artists that are like freaking lathering this freaking numbing cream and then
Yeah.
wrapping the saran wrap
Yeah.
and holding on for 45 minutes so that they can tattoo for 45 minutes without feeling anything.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
doing a 6-hour tattoo. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I was talking to Joey about it because like I only have like one rib tattoo right here, but I think my next piece that I want is gonna be from him, and it's like gonna be right here.
I've always been scared of that spot, man.
You should be.
yeah.
And I want fucking nothing to do with it, but I'm like, all right, I gotta earn this one. But
There's certain things I don't mind using this stuff sometimes. Like it's like because it gets you past that point, you know, of just getting started, and it doesn't hurt that bad.
Numbing cream seems different than full anesthesia.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. I
for
would
sure.
never.
Reasonable.
I almost did it actually. Like I had somebody reach out to do. We were trying to find a doctor. Like we found everything, but he wouldn't. He would not like give any kind of blood stuff. So it was just like,
Oh, yeah.
they're not going to put you under if they don't know anything about your medical history.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and especially when
so he
they're
sat for 3 days straight, and me and another guy did his whole back. Like it was a pretty crazy tattoo. Like he was a big dude too.
So 3 days. So how many hours are you doing per day?
Usually like 6.
Shit. Okay.
So you
and he
gotta
went
figure-
back the next day when it's
3
all
days in
fucking
a row.
raw and shit.
3 days in a row.
Ooh.
But we try and separate it where it's like you're tattooing certain
Different
areas.
portions.
Yeah, exactly. Certain areas at a
Needed.
time. So you're not tattooing over the same area too much.
Ooh,
Yeah.
man.
So Justin
Did
said 3
this
days
to
in
you
a row.
3
Yeah.
days in a row.
Yeah.
Shit.
yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing.
So Joe, back on your question for you. What's who's been some of the craziest people walking into your shop in Vegas?
The ones you
No.
can talk about. Yeah.
No. I've got it. I mean, I've been blessed in a sense of being around. Like the first, I worked at Club Tattoo, which the co-owner was Chester Bennington.
Oh, yeah.
So there was always people coming in.
R.I.P.
I worked at Hart and Huntington for my first 2 years in Vegas, and it was owned by Kerry Hart. So I mean,
That was a dope shop.
You name anybody from Hulk Hogan to John Lovitz, Paris Hilton, you name it.
Oh, yeah.
Carmelo Anthony, Dontrell Willis, baseball. I mean, you name it. People were coming in there. And
What
that,
hotel is that in?
that was at the Palms.
Okay.
But they bounced around like 3 locations now in Vegas. But I got a tattoo like that. I was on a TV show called Inked. So I was on the first TV show about tattooing. There was actually like a documentary style. It wasn't like a competition style. And that was cool because that was my first introduction to celebrities coming in to get tattooed. And I got taught right away, like, don't take pictures, don't do anything, treat them like a normal person. I was tattooing Jonathan Davis, like his first band logo on his knee, or not Jonathan. I was tattooing Feedly, but Jonathan Davis was sitting right here, and we were just talking, like, and it was like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't treat it like nothing, but it was such a cool thing to think about now. I'm like, oh man, I've got to be around a lot of people, but I don't have any. It's like I had no cell phone.
Yeah.
You don't have any kind of proof of it, so it's kind of crazy to that sense. But I've been around a lot of people. I've almost tattooed a lot of people. Almost tattooed Post Malone. Like I went to the Palms. He was shooting me. I was friends with Garrett Schwindel, which is a Army guy. He actually created a bunch of stuff in the field, but he's friends with him. He goes, hey, he wants to get tattooed. Went up there, talked to him half an hour. Super cool. Never before had nothing on his face, and he was shooting his music videos, so I didn't get to do anything because he was doing his stuff. I tattooed his friends, but a lot of that going on. But I tattooed Chester. I tattooed Feedly. I tattooed. Probably my best one that I thought of personally myself was I'm a huge hockey fan, and getting to tattoo some of the Golden Knights was like really cool for me. Like
Yeah.
just being around it, and for them to even start reaching out, and then I started tattooing a bunch of them. But the best one was probably Jack Eichel, like where I literally, because everybody else was reaching out directly, and then he reached out on Instagram, and I jumped up out of bed. And I'm like, holy fuck! I was like, and my wife's like, well, what's going on? I'm like, going, Jack Eichel just text me. He wants to get the Stanley Cup on his leg. So that was, it's cool for me to have that experience. And
For sure.
Even now, my son is a huge Jack Eichel fan, and we got to go see him.
Oh, that's super cool.
We got to go do a meet and greet with him before he went to the Olympics just now. So I was like, I just want to say good luck to the Olympics, because he's, the shooting happened in Vegas, and that's when the team came about. Like, we literally played that night of the shooting was a game that night that was a preseason game. And I went to that game. Then I went to opening night, and Derek England gave a huge speech for Vegas, and that meant a lot to me. And that's when I became a fan. And it's almost like being military and you guys being military, but your job's way fucking harder. You know what I mean? The respect,
it's all hard, man.
The respect for what you guys do, and then the same in that sports industry of seeing these hockey guys put it all on the line, like get 11 teeth knocked out, get a Novocaine shot, go back in the game.
Some manly
What
men,
other
bro.
sports
Yeah.
do that shit?
None.
Mm-hmm. They go into fights, they do all this other stuff, and then to get to interact with them, and then they're just like you guys, the nicest guys on earth. Like you're just sitting there going, "Oh man, this is super cool."
Yeah.
So just seeing Eichel, and then I got a tattoo Derek, and I did an interview, and I was like, they're like, "What's one of the nights you want a tattoo?" And I said, "Well, Derek, because that's why I'm a fan." And then now we're friends, and I'm tattooed his dad,
Oh, man,
half
that's
sleeve.
awesome.
You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
it's just really cool. Like being in Vegas, I can't explain how cool it is for me to be out there, because being in the industry I am, you get to see all these people, meet all these people, but then just having these genuine connections with people, and it is a small world. Everything's a small world. Like everything in this, it is small, and it's really cool to be part of it. Every time you turn around, and go, "Oh man, you know this guy? Okay, cool. Let's all meet this guy." So
That's really cool to have a connection with those people.
See, that begs like my next question for you is like Lake Elsinore is kind of in the middle of nowhere, in like a roundabout world. Do you ever have, and especially working with Joey and being business partners, do you ever have like any FOMO of like potentially if you were to be in a different city that you would potentially be bigger, or do you want to be bigger even, or is there any
time to move to Vegas?
right?
Yeah.
Is there any of that because
taxes.
of this, like, like the connections you can make and the life that you can build for your family?
That's a great question, man. And I've thought of it. That thought has been, running through my mind a few times. But I'm like content, bro. Like I own 3 studios, one in Anaheim that I've had for 15 years. And then my Lake Elsinore, I got that one because I bought a house in Lake Elsinore, and I didn't want to drive to Anaheim anymore. And then we just opened up the all-girls studio for my wife. And then, I think I can live the Vegas life through Joey. You know what I mean? He's
You come out and visit too.
Yeah,
Do stuff.
I'm always out there, and and we are like brothers, and and everywhere we go, he knows a lot of people, which I find is fascinating and amazing, because there's a ton of artists in Vegas. A ton of
high
artists.
level guys too.
Yeah. But it's Joey that knows a lot of people. His shop is the only one that can post a freaking trailer in front of, the Night Stadium and tattoo.
Yeah, we tattooed in the plaza. First year they asked us to tattoo in the plaza for the playoffs. And we're the only ones that ever done that. So
wow,
That's
pretty
super cool.
Yeah. So, and then everywhere we go, he's introducing me to a lot of people, and then I get to meet a lot of people, through him, like Justin Nunley as well, who's a great guy that he took me with him to go and tattoo there. And
In
so,
Florida.
Yeah, in Florida. So yeah, I think, I don't know, man, like, I got my wife that humbles me too. You know what I mean? Like even my pricing, like I look at all these artists that, I feel like I do better work than they're doing, and they're charging so much, more money. And I talk to my wife, and I'm just like, hey, maybe I should be like charging this much. And she's, and then that's when she humbles me down, and she's just like, no, we're fine.
So
what I mean?
for the audience, what is kind of like low, hourly, mid, and then high, and then celebrity?
For the areas? Well, I was going to say too, like you're content because you're family. You have all your family there. I have no family in Vegas. I have nothing besides me and my wife. So I think that's one. We've talked about him moving out before, and I'm like, dude, you got to come out here. But you have all this infrastructure already in place.
Yeah.
It's just way different than what I have.
There's a lot to be said for building a life and a location that you don't want to get away from too.
And I got grandkids,
Yeah.
so, and grandkids, I mean, they're freaking amazing, dude. So, you know, but
What was the question?
yeah, I think that's why. But what was your question?
Well, just
Pricing.
about like pricing, like
It all
what's the dollar
depends.
amount?
Honestly,
Yeah.
it all depends because, you know, shop minimum is $100. You know what I mean? I can't even say like it's where you're at in years of experience because it's not
It's
anymore.
not.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we got cats that are only been tattooing 2 years that are charging more than guys that have been, you know, tattooing 30 years. You know.
In Vegas, it's all over the place. I mean, there's $10 up to $5,000 a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's multiple guys that charge around $5,000 a day,
Dang.
and you know that's crazy.
And a day is what, 6 hours?
No, like this one of the guys I'm talking about, he'll tattoo you for like 8 to 10 hours.
Dang.
You know,
That's a long day.
Yeah, it's a long day. I can't physically tattoo that long.
No,
my
neither can I
hours are 5
anymore.
to 6 hours, but I can generally pump out as much as somebody would do in 7 or 8 hours especially this guy, you know, in that same time frame. So, but you know, yeah, the rates in Vegas are all over the place. It's a sales job. What can you get them to pay? You know what I mean? So,
And if you're
Yeah.
TikTok famous, you know what I mean, but you suck, you know, like you're charging a grip, you know, or maybe you're not, you know, and TikTok is paying the rest. Like there's a girl that's out here or out where I'm at, charges $160 $160
yeah.
cover-ups. Don't matter how big it is. She did a back piece, big cover, $160.
Dang.
But she has like a grip of followers on TikTok, so you know she's getting paid from TikTok.
Right, so she's
Yeah, it's
subsidizing.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she doesn't need to, you know, charge these people all this money, but she sucks.
Yeah. I
She's
didn't want to say
horrible.
that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, sounds like it's the old rule of pricing, like charge whatever somebody's willing to pay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah, sorry. We're just over 3 hours now. You guys want to take a break and then we get back in and talk? I'd love to talk about how you guys started Ink Network, what it's about, what you guys are going into next, like the projects you guys are excited about, you know, what's next on the horizon for you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, we're back. All right, so I know you guys have been involved in a lot of projects over the years, a lot of different stuff. Ink Network sounds super cool. How did you guys come up with that idea? What is it? And then what are you guys working towards with that?
Just super like the.
So you came up with the
the
idea.
basic idea of it was because I spent a shit ton of money on advertising, and the people couldn't really tell me where my leads were coming from and all this stuff. And then that's where I just kind of was like, how can I make something better for the industry? And that's where I kind of came up with. When you go into a shop, the first thing you do is you walk up and look at portfolios, and you're just sitting there swiping or looking at portfolios. So that's kind of where the basis of it all came from, and it's evolved into a lot of different things from that. But that's kind of, it was just a need. We don't have it in our industry. There are some companies that have tried things similar to what we're trying to do, but ours hands down is the best as far as, and I'm not trying to pat ourselves on the back, but anybody we show that's in our industry is like, holy shit, this is like, you thought of everything. It's completely different than a lot of things that are already out there. So we're basically trying to create a nationwide portfolio database that's searchable by city, by your location, by the styles. If you like black and gray, traditional. If I want to look at all sailor tattoos, whatever you want to look at.
It's like Zillow for tattoos.
Yeah, it's like
Tinder for tattoos.
Tinder's / Angie's List / Pinterest. So it's all tattoos, and
That makes
that's
so
all
much
you're
sense.
looking at. The whole screen is all tattoos. It's super cool. So it's not like when you're scrolling up and down like a traditional portfolio. Like each one is the whole picture is the tattoo, and you swipe left or right, and you go from there. There's a map involved, so you can hit the map. You can look at who's in your area. There's a calendar of events, which is one of our big things we want to try and push is promoters doing these conventions, is that you can click that you're going as an artist, and then when you click the button on there, it'll say attending artist, and it puts a filter on that's only showing artists going to that show. As a collector, it collects anything that you liked, so you can go back and look at that. There's a bunch of AI involved.
I was going to ask if it had AI learning in it, so that way, whatever you do like, it'll kind of...
Not in that sense. We've talked about that. So if you like a bunch of black and gray, it's going to just show you black and gray. That might go in there at some point. The AI is involved in the sense of the consultation form is AI driven, and then also when you're uploading your portfolio, that's AI driven, because the artists don't want to like sit there and put all these tags and all this stuff on there. Right. So you click upload photo, click analyze with AI. It gives you title, tag, and description.
Oh, so auto.
Yeah, it auto does that, but you
categorizes
you could also add your own. So it's not reading that it's a Jason Voorhees tattoo from Friday the 13th. It's just saying horror character. Mm-hmm. So you can specify that, and that makes it a lot easier. So everything's searchable.
Yeah, and then it writes all your hashtags, and and then you can always add more hashtags if you want. But it's super cool. As soon as you hit analyze with AI, it does all that for you. Because some artists, I know myself, I freaking hate having to hashtag this and that, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It'll do it all for you, and you can just add a couple more to it. But
and it lives on Google too, so that way it's searchable on Google.
Searchable.
One of the things,
that's perfect.
one of the things that the issues that we saw was if you go online right now and look up Black and Gray Rose, it's not taking you to the artist portfolio. It's taking you to a Pinterest page of somebody that like 20 times ago liked somebody's pinboard.
Right.
So it's not taking you to the artist. So that's where we're trying to get the direct connect to the artist itself.
That's awesome.
Right. And then, and then as soon as when he came to me with that idea, I thought it was a great idea. So of course I wanted to be a part of it, and I invested in it. But then I started thinking like, shoot, why don't we just try to figure out how to put the whole industry into one network? You know what I mean? So that now you don't have to go onto Instagram. You don't have to go onto Facebook. You don't have to see politics. You don't have to see people dancing.
Or an algorithm.
Or an algorithm. Yeah. Forget all the algorithms. Now you just go to the Ink Network, and it's everything to do with tattooing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. From you can go shopping. You can shop for shirts. You can, shop for a bunch of merchandise, aftercares, stuff like that. On the artist profile, you can buy all the supplies that you need right in the network, and all the companies that we're working with, they're giving discounts for the artists that are a part of the network, so they get special discounts being part of the app. On the collector side, we'll have aftercares and merchandise for the collector, and then also getting them deals as well, for being a part of the Ink Network. So yeah, just to get the whole tattoo industry in one network. And then, it's a one-stop shop thing.
Yeah. We're trying to, promotion-wise, we're trying to do a lot of forward-thinking stuff for promotions as far as, like this weekend, we're going to be giving away a tattoo. We're going to be giving away art. Like, so he has art.
I forgot it.
Oh, well, you bring it back. So we have art on canvas that we're just going to, if you sign up, you're going to get a raffle ticket. If you sign up for the app, you're going to get, if you leave a review, you're going to get an extra ticket. I'm going to give anybody that signs up, I'm going to give tickets for a free tattoo. Like just a bunch of stuff like that. We'll push a big thing in a couple of months with Justin as far as, we're going to tattoo you plus 3 of your friends for free. Wow. Like just to try and get as much traction as possible. As like some of these viral moments. So
what are the big insights that I just kind of thought of as you two were talking about this is I'm really big on like passport like tattoos. So if I'm in Greece or Italy or wherever, I want something to kind of like memorialize it. Like I have like an agave that I got down in Tequila. That's for my bachelor party. Like all these like different things. So if you are part of Ink Network, if I'm, let's just say in Oklahoma, it knows that I'm out of state, but if I'm near artists that are in the Ink Network, it'll like send me a push notification, let me know that like, hey, you're next to this guy that's already in Ink Network. And so if I want a passport like tattoo, then I can go right to him.
Right. It'd be very similar. You just have to open the app. When you open the app, it reads your location.
Okay.
It will give you artists in that area first. Anybody within a certain radius is going to give you artists in that area first. And from that, even you can search like what style you want to go. So we're still under 300 artists right now, so it's still growing. We don't want to use our big social media push until we get around 500 to 1,000, because but we're teaming up with huge brands as far as Sullen, H2 Ocean, Tatzel, like all these brands that have all these big pro teams. We're trying to get them to help us get the artist on board. But as soon as that happens, then we'll go. Like, we want it to be worldwide. In 3 months, it could be worldwide pretty easily. Like, it's already geared to do it.
So what does it take for an artist to become part of the Ink network?
You just go to the app and download it. It's free.
It's
completely you sign up. You sign up. You can sign up under a shop, so the shop owners can have it. They can have access, because the whole point is to get artists booked or get him a consultation. So when you go on somebody's stuff and you swipe it and you like it, there's a little bio button down at the bottom. You look at that button, you pull it up. It shows their whole bio, what they charge, because we want to be transparent on what they charge, and then it has their whole tattoo gallery that's on there. So hopefully 100 photos you can look through there. If you really like it, you can just hit the button and say chat with the artist. That's when the AI consultation form pops up. And then, it's a banner will drop down. Hey, you have a consultation that wants to do that. So that's the real point of it, is to get artists booked.
Talk about knowing your clientele, man. Like, that's like hitting all the pain points.
Right. We've went through a lot of, like, this has been about it's actually funny because we launched this a year ago at this show. And we've done a couple iterations to get to this point. We had some other partners involved. That all kind of, took care of itself. And then we moved on. And then
now we got these two great developers that freaking revamped the whole thing, and
we rebuilt the whole. They just rebuilt it from scratch.
Yeah, rebuilt the whole thing from scratch, and they're killing it, man. They're freaking.
Just really looking at it, like when we were driving here, like my guy Eric was just going through it, going, "Holy shit, they added this." So we're constantly making it grow. We really want it to be the platform to use to find a tattoo artist. Like, it can be that simple. Like, we have to get the artist involved enough to understand that's what it's for. And we're charging $12 a year for the consumer to use it, but we're going to be giving away monthly. If as soon as it gets big at all, we're going to be giving away weekly tattoos. I don't care. Like, it's not about the money part of it, in a sense. The $12, we want to be giving away so much free shit.
Yeah.
That it's like, cool, I got to be part of it because I could be winning,
That's the thing about us, bringing this out too, is that we're artists, so we know what artists, are looking for and what we want. You know what I mean? That's why we're making it free for the artists to jump on it, because as artists, we know that, why not?
Yeah.
It's free,
It's a no-brainer. Yeah.
And then because we want them to, to get clients out of it, then for a collector, we're charging $12 a year. That's $1 a month.
$1
you know
a month.
What I mean?
Yeah.
It's fuck all.
You're not gonna miss it. Yeah.
I mean, that's less than feeding a dog or freaking having
we're
somebody.
going to give free digital downloads of art that we've done personally that's worth more than $12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's plenty of things you're going to get discounts on aftercare, numbing cream,
all of that stuff.
Sullen t-shirts, like whatever else that we can throw on there. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to make the value way more, like $50 to $100.
So I'm curious, when you were doing the school that you were doing before, and you got kickback from the tattoo culture or community that wasn't about it. How is the community, or the tattoo community culture, now receiving this? Long time later.
Well, there's 300 within a year, but I think they're still trying to figure it out. And I think our tattoo industry is very niche. I'll say this: when I say it took a year to get to this point, and the reason it did is because we had to get offset some stuff that was going on. So once that happened, which has only been about 3 months from now, then we are readdressing and moving forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had to wait till some certain things were taken care of.
But all the artists that are a part of it now are freaking loving it.
Yeah,
they're loving it.
Yeah, even though they're not even getting clients yet. Like, we haven't pushed the collector side yet.
They see the value in it.
Yeah, it's free. So why take an hour to upload a lap?
And they like the fact, again, that it's the Ink network. It's just a network for tattooing. You know what I mean?
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, when he says this stuff about, like, not having the politics involved and not having the dancing videos and all this stuff. It's literally as if you're walking into a tattoo shop. I want to get tattooed. I'm going to look at as many portfolios as I want, but I don't want to go on Google and go down shop by shop by shop by shop.
It's a lot of work.
Right.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work.
It's and that's the convention part of it too. Like prepping for this show, I go to the convention guy's page and it's artist by artist by artist. And it's like you have to go from his website to Instagram, back to over here, back over here. And I'm like going, these guys could go literally put my banner on his page and then every artist is in one spot. And then you just sit there and punch that and it's a filter on there.
It seems like genius. So much sense. Like, has anybody tried something like this before?
There are booking platforms out there. There's multiple different ones and it's kind of funny because once we started it, we thought there was only so many, and then it was just like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. But it wasn't nothing like we're doing. Like we always thought, like, oh, that's gonna be it, and we're like, no, not really. But
a lot of them are not by artists either.
Right.
So
which our industry is big on that, where it needs to be from us to represent us.
Right.
And
otherwise, artists, we look at it like, oh, this is just some dude like trying to make money off of our industry.
For sure.
Again, our industry is a tight industry, you know what I mean? And that's why, we don't want to saturate it. And that's why it was like frowned upon when he was trying to do the school and stuff like that. So we're a tight industry. So we don't want to do business with people who are trying to make money off of us,
Yeah.
So that's why we're not trying to do it, We don't want to make money off of you. That's why it's free. You know what I mean? All we want to do is we just want to create this network to help all the artists get some clients and to help clients find artists.
And for full transparency, if you don't mind me asking, what is your revenue stream and how are you guys funding this? Is it through the subscription basis and ad spend?
How are we funding it?
Right now, it's our own money.
Well, I figured that part.
Right now it's our own money
right now.
Yeah. We got told not to bootstrap it, but we're almost stubborn.
Yeah.
Where it's like we've been around and we've gotten like in the last 3 months we've gotten a lot farther ahead than. But I have some really good people interested in coming on board to help get to a certain point. But
and that's how much we believe in it. We believe that this is going to take off. This is going to be a good thing for the industry, and that's why it's okay that we're putting our money.
Yeah.
He's spending his own money to be out here, to promote it. You know what I mean? So we've done.
And
we've
also
done
with
a lot.
Joey's network, I don't feel like it's going to be that hard to promote. And YouTube being on.
It won't be. Like once we're ready for that, like that's
Right.
where I keep saying we're not ready to go every day, go rah Ink Network to the collector side because we need the artist, we need the content. So
Right.
when we get the content on board, then that's when we're gonna be. That's when like the guys like H2 Ocean has a 200-person pro team. So anybody that comes on board like that, like I'm talking with those guys last week, hey, can we get an email blast out to those guys so they can get on board? So the more that happens, I'm guessing within 3 months is when it gets to a certain point, and that's when I'll bring Justin. We brought Justin Nunley on as not an investor, but as a partner. Also. Yeah, as a partner also. So he'll be the influencer reach. And like I said, he had 1.9 billion views last year.
That's crazy.
So that touch point will be there when we're ready. So we just have to get ready. The Chris from Entourage or Chris from Regiment has I forgot he has 100,000 people on his gaming platform for veterans, heavily tattooed.
Wow.
So there's a lot of these connections I've been making along the way. So when I'm ready, I have a 40,000 email database list myself just for my tattoo stuff. So all these little things, like Justin said, you just need if we get 1% of his followers, that's 210,000 people sign up for $12.
Yeah.
So then we'll be off to the races and we create, we need the infrastructure, we need all this stuff done. But as far as that's the best part is there's no plan. I hate to say that, but we're still just fucking head down, going to this show, trying to get more people to sign up, and then we're gonna get to a certain point, and then it'll move over.
That makes sense though, because you're open to any direction that presents itself. You know what I mean? Like I know every time I try to build something, I have this big plan. I'm like, oh, this is where we're going, 100 steps, and I I'm always wrong about, I plan out, here's step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And I'm always wrong about step 2 because I take step 1 and through the process of doing step 1, I learn, oh, all this new shit. And then I'm like, well, step 2 is actually this direction. It's always the same general direction, but it's never what I thought it was going to be. It's always something different. But I think there's so much value in just bootstrapping it, just doing it, and then being open to, changing it on the fly and taking whatever direction that comes, because usually I found, I mean, you guys know this has been in business a long time. It's like the right direction always makes sense when you just look at it. It's not, business is not complicated. It's hard. It's really hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, but it's not complicated. You just evaluate the decision, look at the pros and cons, look at the direction, and be like, well, yeah, this seems like a good idea, and that's usually the right decision. I think that's really cool to be open to. Like, hey, man, we want to go this direction.
Like every week we're like on the phone, like, oh, what do you think about this? Should we do this? How should we do that? And we know that where we're at can evolve into a booking platform, a credit card processing. We can do a lot of things out of this. An affiliate program with all these brands we're talking about. We could, if we have a platform that's got, there's in this. I hate to say shit because it's like I don't want to put the ideas out there, but there is another app out there that has 15 million downloads.
Dang.
If we get 15 million, if we get 2 million downloads, you're talking $20 million. Mm-hmm. Like it's life-changing money, and it's like it can really work out. But we just, it's like we're focused on doing what's in front of us right now. It's all this military mentality of you have this right in front of you, don't let anything else be on your sides, and then just keep moving forward until you get to that end. But we've got to this point, and I feel like we both pray about it, and we feel like it's going to be great when it gets there. But just like this, like we're just out here putting it out in the world and getting a bunch of military guys to look at what the platform is, and we'll do contests. If you guys want to do a contest for your listeners, we'll do that. You know what I'm saying? Where we're down. That's where it's like this fun part of giving back. It's the scratching each other's back kind of mentality of like, we'll do something, you do something for us, we'll do something for you.
Yeah,
all these vendors are on there for free, but they hand out cards for us.
Yeah, like rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at it, it's like Uber. At first, it started off with we'll get you from A to B, but then they went to luxury, then they went to XL, then they went to food, then they went to pet, then they went to handicap, right? And that's how it is. And I completely foresee that for you guys on this entire venture is like, this will be successful. Yeah. Hands down.
It's
especially
cool.
with like your backgrounds and pedigrees, and you're picking up and poking holes in everything that could go wrong and just figuring it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
makes so much sense.
I like the worldwide aspect. I mean, the worldwide part. He was in a show in Mexico, and they were just like, "Can we be on it?" Yeah. And we go to Canada shows all the time, and it's like, I really feel like one of these people I'm talking to, they already have 200 businesses worldwide, and it would be a good team up for us to kind of jump on board with them. And there's a lot of little things out there right now I don't want to talk about too much. But.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
I know, that's what I'm a sharer. Fuck it, I don't know why. It's like.
Well, the thing is, like with ideas, too,
it's exciting.
Like, I got this idea. I'm like,
dude,
the ideas aren't worth shit. It's the execution that matters. Like, like you talk about it all day, but actually doing it's a whole other different ballgame.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know you guys have already driven a long way. You're here, and I know you guys got to get some sleep for your big event this weekend, which I didn't know was going on. I got to go visit you guys there. That sounds really
awesome.
Really fucking
So you guys want to talk about it in the event? Actually, nobody's going to listen to this, but
this is going to air after it's out. Yeah. But where can people find you on the gram or the websites, or where can people get involved with what you guys are doing?
My personal stuff is Joey Hamilton Tattoo, pretty much across all platforms. On the app, it's the Ink Network app. So you just go to Apple or Google Play, and you can download it.
The Ink Network?
Yeah, it's just straightforward, the Ink Network. And completely free for artists. And then if you're a collector, jump on board. It's $12 a year, and you're going to get plenty of stuff back for that $12. Like I said, we're going to every show we're doing, we're going to give away a free tattoo minimum, and then we're probably going to do a raffle every month. And it's not even new signups. So if you sign up once, you're going to be entered in every raffle that we do. So
Shit, man, I'm gonna sign up for it right now.
yeah,
Just sit.
yeah.
Is that easy? Shit,
Yep.
man, all right.
I know, done.
I'm behind the times.
Yeah,
already.
we just got the guys to do Apple sign in and then whatever else, like a couple of the sign ins, so it's super easy to sign in.
Yep. Yeah, so like Joey said too, you
No
know,
dick
for all
pics.
your for all your listeners too, you know what I mean? If they want to join the Ink Network, then we'll give a free tattoo to them too, you know. So we just want to make this Ink Network blow up, and you know, that's why it's not much. It's a giveaway. So but you can catch me at Big Ceeze in all my platforms, and Big is with 2 G's. Ceeze is Ceeze. And I'm all over TikTok and Instagram, Facebook. So,
I was good. Real quick on the shops. I have Revolt Tattoos, which is Vegas, Salt Lake City, 2 in Houston, and then we just opened one in Fort Benning, and then also we're opening one in Eglin Air Force Base by March.
Oh, now we're bragging. Okay, so
he said, "Where we find?" And
I got three.
I talked about myself. I was talking about my shop.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I was not talking about. I was literally going, okay, I don't want the guys pissed off that I didn't say the fucking shop name.
Yeah, right.
Joey's all right. Enough about me.
Mi
So
familia.
let's talk about you. What do you think about me? No, I got Mi
place
Familia.
did you
I
get?
only have 2. No, I have one in Anaheim, one in Lake Elsinore, and then an all-girl studio in Canyon Lake,
Do you wear a dress when you go there?
Monarch.
Oh, you don't work
man,
there.
you know, people are sensitive about that.
He just clucked his nugget loud. Well, what's the all women's one called again?
Monarch Tattoo Gallery.
Cool.
Lake Elsinore.
Cool. Monarch.
Well, I love
yeah.
it, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming
Thank
on and
you.
making the time and sharing the stories with us. This has been super fucking fun. Love
Yeah,
having
hell
you
yeah.
guys
Yeah,
on.
it's awesome.
We skip buds.
We did.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank you
you
guys.
so much.
Yeah,
Peace
thank
out.
All
you.
right, thank you guys.